Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nerd Cube podcast for the 10th of whatever month we're in, 2016. Woo! Today,
It's called the Podcarts now. Not the
podcast. Yeah, we've actually decided
Podcarts, sorry.
on the pre-show, which is exclusive to the live stream. We've decided that this is now the Podcarts. We're all currently in go-karts racing around a track with very good sound cancelling. So, it's now Podcarts.
Did you just pretend the pre-show adds some value that people ought to come and see this live for because they get lots out of it?
It adds a lot more value than any pre-show WWE
Why
has
are we
ever
trying
put
to
on.
sell the live stream, though? It's completely worthless.
I think the Twitch chat know why we want to sell the live streams for the awesome introductions.
Oh,
Yes.
Anyway, what do you want to start with? Because before we even started recording, you were like, "Oh, I want to start with this. No, I want to start with this. No, I want to start with this."
I want to start with a game about a procedurally generated universe where you go around in a spaceship and explore and find strange new creatures and have to fight for your survival, and it's exciting and interesting and well made. So I played Starbound finally. It's very good. It's come out of early access and it's been properly released, and it's changed a lot. Like, now you can actually build your ship up and get a crew and stuff, and I'm totally involved. Totally into that. That is an incredible game. I'm really, really enjoying it. Anybody else played Starbound?
I vaguely touched it. I mean, isn't it kind of just Terraria?
Yeah, it starts out with a story. It's actually got quite a story focus now, which is quite like you start it on Earth, and it's like your graduation day at Starfleet, and then they get attacked. You're like one of the only survivors of Earth, and so you're like flung to a planet, and then you have to start. You build like a little shitty base where your ship's battered, and then you start building up from there. And actually, it feels like it is very Terraria, but it's actually it's actually got a story. I've got a drive with it, so I've got a feeling I'm actually going to play this a lot more than I ever did Terraria, and I played quite a lot of Terraria. I quite liked it. But it's
That is one hell of an opening. If you start off thinking, it's lovely, I get to graduate today, there's 6 billion other humans on this planet, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah.
2 hours later, why, cruel world?
Yeah. Pretty good. I'm kind of enjoying it. It's like they literally get attacked by like tentacles. Like just standard. Like what I would draw if someone said draw octopus tentacles, that's it. That's like what you get attacked by. But it's, yeah. Maybe different people get procedurally generated different things they're attacked by. They'll just drop dead on one of them and other stuff. But yeah, no, I like that you get a bad ship. I like that you're then sort of slowly building your ship back up, and then you can apparently get crew and stuff. But yeah, the first planet takes a little while to get off, but it was nice to actually be on a planet and actually feel like, oh shit, I'm really fucked right now.
Well, it's more of a building game as opposed to a survival game.
Because you have to keep eating and stuff as well. Like you have to.
You do, but I mean,
it made me, instead of like Terraria where I just go around and you just got to worry about health, I actually did focus on building up, like, because when I beamed into my first planet, I don't know if everybody gets the same planet when they start, but it had like a little ruined tower quite close to where I started, so I sort of like inhabited that and then built a little farm outside it. And from there, it felt a little bit homely. And then I would warp up to my ship every now and then just to check on it and stuff. I'd be like, oh, this is still here, and then warp back down. Well, I was using it just to fast travel, because it always beams down to the same place, so you can explore one way, beam up, and then beam right down again with all your items. Super fucking useful.
At any point, you can teleport back up to your ship.
Yes.
But you were sleeping inside a ruined tower.
Yes. What was that?
Now, I don't want to point out the small mistake you made there. But if it was me, I'd sleep in the sterile, secure environment in space.
The ship is not a sterile, secure environment. It's literally a wreck. There are bits falling off of it. I don't trust it is the reason I'm not staying up there. Like, it's not like, it's smoking a bit. Like, there's huge chunks of it missing. Sort of like it's got massive, like, cracks and shit through it. Like, every time I go up there and it's still there, I'm like, that's an interesting... I wasn't expecting that.
When you'd rather actually sleep in the crappy, broken-down tower than in your spaceship. Then that is saying something.
I'd like to point out, John, that someone in the chat has pointed out that you don't think India exists.
What?
So, as a result... Well, you said 6 billion people, not 7. So apparently India doesn't exist.
Why just India? Why if we have to get rid of 1 billion people? Did this Twitch person think, fuck the Indians?
Well, no.
Yeah, start with Belgium and we work from there. Start with Belgium. How many people are in Belgium?
Oh my god.
How many?
Not enough.
It was India or China. That's what I went for.
Okay, what if we get rid of Belgium, the whole Netherlands, and Luxembourg, everyone?
Anybody who immediately goes, fuck the Indians, is clearly an American. Let's just point that out. Let's just put that out there now. It needs to be said.
Belgium's population is 11 million.
Okay, so that's over 1% of the way there already.
Jacksepticeye's amount of subscribers, basically.
Wow. Shit. Wow.
I'd have done my research though. Belgium's entire army is only 47,000 people. That's all of their
47 people.
47,000 people. That's across all the branches of their military. How easy would it be to take Belgium?
America could do it. Just
Yeah,
every now and then
anyone
just
could
like-
do it.
Just be like, hey, American, we own you now. Bet Trump would. But it doesn't matter because he's dropped out of the running now. By the time the vote goes up, I'm kind of hoping that's the case. You know, when you go, hey, we should kill Hillary if she gets in, you're probably not going to last very long. Just saying that there's
I would like to
no
point
way
out,
you can
right.
read that other than because he's like, hey, when she gets elected, the Second Amendment people could do something with her. Like this is. I want to plant a flag here because, ladies and gentlemen, today's the first day that me and people who are in the NRA agree on something. We just kind of we're both there going, oh, okay, like no, Trump, no, that's just a thing. That's a bad thing you said there.
The problem with Trump is he doesn't. I don't think he understands the weight of what he's saying. It's like he says this as like an offhand, casual, like, oh, I don't know, comment, you know.
Oh I think he's doing it masterfully because Trump doesn't want to win this election. Trump coming in second place is the best thing for Trump because it makes him the most money, and money's what he cares about. That's literally it.
I mean,
He literally just if he becomes president, that's actually a job he has to do. Like, that's a job he'll have to do. He doesn't want to have another job. He just wants more money. And if he comes second place, it bumps up the Trump brand. It gives him a hell of a lot of FaceTime exposure. He's on every fucking news network almost 24/7 these days. So, yeah, no, this is second place is exactly what he wants. So, basically, he's got to the point where he's gone, right, I'm at the top. I'm now running for president. It's time to absolutely torpedo myself.
but you say that, but you still got loads of supporters.
Yeah.
And they'll all watch Trump News Network when he sets that up immediately after the election was stolen from him, robbed, because people didn't use pens.
Yeah.
So as a result, Hillary and her Hill drones changed all the votes and robbed him of the election.
Oh, hashtag
The only
fucking
and the
Hillary
only
for
place
president.
they can get legitimate real news that isn't from those libtard censorship something is on the Trump News Network. For real news for real Americans.
Yeah.
You watch it happen. You
did
watch
follow-
it.
I did follow Donald Trump on Twitter because I want to hate myself several times a day. Mm-hmm. I mean, I like the thing where they found out that all of the tweets from himself, the angry ones, are tweeted from Android, while all the sensible ones tweeted from like iPhone. Like the ones that are just like, hey, I'm on a TV show tonight. Here's a picture from iPhone. But all the like, I fucking hate, Jews are from like Android.
Interesting. That's a
I'm a
lot.
fan of that.
Yeah, no, I think he's. I mean, I hope he is because you don't go up on that stage and say that. That's literally like what dictators and shit do. That's literally at this point probably worse than Hitler.
No, he is legitimately saying I alone can fix it now.
Yeah,
Like, I thought there was something Obama mentioned sort of in the DNC, like saying, oh, don't trust anyone who says I alone can fix it. And I always thought like that was an offhand comment from Trump. But no, he actually specifically said I alone can fix it in a rally. Like, he specifically said that. Not as an offhand thing. He specifically went, no, I alone can fix this country. Like, very, very poignant.
there's a beautiful video.
I am uniquely qualified to fix the macroeconomic state of one of the biggest economies in the world.
By building
Yes.
a wall. There's a wonderful video I saw of John McCain. You may remember him as a runner-up from a few years back. Some terrifying woman stands up during one of his rallies and says, "Oh, Obama's an Arab and a rah, and a rah," and he just takes a mic and goes, "No, he's not. Stop being such a fucking idiot." And it's a beautiful moment. And then literally like the same sort of question happens against Trump, and Trump's like, "Hey, this guy," and you're like, "Oh, that's the difference. Because what happens like." Left-wing right people don't want to get on. Trump is just shit. Like, you can't debate anything with Trump. You can't argue anything with a Trump or a Trump supporter. Like, he actually widens the divide between left and right politics and makes it harder for anyone to work together. Like, if someone goes, oh, I'm a right-wing person, now you go, Trump, Nazi! It's in your head. I mean, sometimes I accidentally shout it out, but it's largely in your head. And like, I want the nicer politics. We actually have ideas and don't just go Muslims. Like,
Well, this is an annoying thing that one party has to win, and essentially, yeah, one party obviously does have to lead the country. But for politics to work properly, you need to have multiple parties that are all contributing.
yeah,
Like, because to represent everyone's interests.
yeah. I'm gonna start doing some stuff to that thing soon. Maybe I'm thinking about starting a small political career. Just a short one.
Small.
Get a thing done, then fuck off. That's my plan.
Actually, yeah.
What I really want, right, is I want to have, like, this is going to be really totally crazy, but in this country, the UK, I want it to be when you vote, that vote gets counted for something. I want one person to have one vote, and then it all goes on a big pile, and you go, right, count the big pile. That's kind of what I want. That's the very simple
You
thing.
would love the Irish system of voting. You'd love the Irish.
What do they do?
It's proportional representation in a certain way. It's like you list your candidates, but as well in unlike here, every region has 3, 4 MPs as opposed to 1.
Yeah. Oh, well, that'll happen
So-
if everybody gets to vote. Like, if you could vote for anyone, you wouldn't have to do tactical voting anymore because your seats would just get
Well,
counted.
no, that's it.
And
So-
applied. Then we would never have a straight parliament ever again. We'd have a parliament made up of 2 or 3 parties at once.
Oh no! Irish Parliament's a mess. Like they never have a majority, and it's a mess because they always have to do coalitions and there's 12 parties. It's a mess.
That sounds
a bit-
great. That's what weak politicians are good politicians because they can't
Oh,
break
it
anything.
is because it works very similar to British politics. Aside from you have 4 MPs and TDs, and it's just you rate them, and then whoever's last, they go, okay, we'll scrap all those, we'll do a second count, we take all the votes, and take all the second votes, and then recount, and then often you 14 counts, and it takes fucking ages to count the results. It takes a week.
Yeah.
And then after the week, it's oh god, we have no minister for this because we have no government. Oh god, but it's it's fair, so whatever.
Yeah, I'd much rather that sort of system. I mean, the other one's rubbish.
Plus, it would be kind of fun to kind of watch David Dimbleby just try and stay awake doing BBC One live for 7 days straight, and he's not allowed to have a break or go to the bathroom
here's the
because there's no
thing.
commercials. He just has to stay doing that for 7 days.
You could then make a reality TV show about David Dimbleby staying up late. Like, Day 4, David Dimbleby is counting with his fingers.
He's slightly...
At this point, the sleep effects are like being on 1 tab of LSD. It's just still
What
awake.
accent are you trying to give the commentator of the Big Brother house there?
This is my Japanese accent. That started going a bit short. I'll be back.
I kind of veered between German and Jamaican and Indian there. There's some lovely German Jamaican Indian citizen
Day
doing that
7.
commentary.
Today we have a bobsleigh team. I'm just going to try and encompass the whole nation with one accent.
Someone in the chat says, let's talk about Theresa May. And has Theresa May actually done anything?
No, she's referred to
she's-
her cocoon state after feeding off of the careers of
I heard, she came in and then I literally heard nothing. I don't think she's done a single thing.
Well, the one thing that was supposed to happen, she's cancelled because she's basically said, yeah, remember that nuclear power plan? Maybe not.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, but-
So there was supposed to be one thing that actually happened over the past couple of weeks, and she got rid of that.
There is something else. There are now smoking craters where all the schools and libraries used to be. So that's a thing that's happened. But that's not really hit the news because, the guy who's trying to become president of the United States of America said to assassinate the other candidate if she gets in. It's hilarious.
And I think someone was supposed to be making a decision about Heathrow versus Gatwick, and they've said,
That sounds like a
maybe
fight
not.
I'd watch. Just planes crashing into each other, fucking just above London.
Oh, come on, when you put the money on Heathrow, it's got more runways and more planes.
Yeah, that's true.
Gatwick doesn't stand a chance. Gatwick
But-
can only start the fight after it makes some tactical
But, here's the
alliances
thing.
with Stansted and the other small...
Here's the thing,
small
right? All you got
airfields.
to do, get on the blower to some Black Lives Matter protesters. Heathrow shuts the fuck down. That's all you need these days. Just, do you want people to be really fucking angry at your cause? Yeah, call up this thing. I love that. You do that in this country. I'm like, yeah, I get it in America, where, the police are shooting black people every 5 minutes. But here, where there was there was one 5 years ago. Okay.
Well, actually, I saw someone crunch the numbers, which was when they were interviewed on TV. They said it's because they're while we don't have the endemic problem of people being shot, we do have the problem that a disproportionately high number of black and minority people die in police custody. And then someone crunched numbers for the past year, and they realised that black and minority people who died in police custody were about 10% of the total deaths, and about 13% of the entire population. So statistically, black and minority people in police custody were actually slightly safer than white people, but they just hadn't checked the numbers before they did the protest.
Wow, that's amazing.
Which I thought was unfortunate.
Yeah, you gotta make sure that you're not just protesting for the sheer hell of it. And don't take out a main road where ambulances and shit go. That's the stupidest fucking thing.
Someone in the chat has said, why do you pay attention to American presidency. I don't even know anything about British leaders. Why is it important for the British?
You don't know anything about British
I
leaders?
can
Do you
answer
know,
that
I know why
question.
you don't know anything about British leaders, because you've had an American education.
I can answer that question, which is, in the event that Britain wants to start a nuclear war, we basically can't without America say so.
Yeah.
But in the event that America wants to start a nuclear war, nothing to do with us, we can't stop anything. America's probably, especially with Trump, is the only country that's actively talking about starting nuclear wars right now.
There's a reality TV star in America, don't know if you've heard of him, called Donald Trump. He has said that he'd quite like to bomb the families of just terrorists and stuff, because that's not how you breed terrorism. The aforementioned assassination
terrorist
remarks.
families or something.
Yeah, basically he's terrifying, and his only qualification for being president is there are enough lunatics in your country, and you have all the bombs. So it's the problem is, you think we just see this as the commissioner for the world police election.
Yeah, it is. Because a lot of people, like a lot of Americans kind of act like, oh, America's in the country. No, it's not. You are world police.
Mm-hmm.
You are the top of the food chain.
You are.
Which is also kind of their job, because as long as they're doing that, other countries don't need to spend as much on the military and
No,
stuff.
yeah, no, that's completely fair. But, at the same time, it's like people are like, oh, I don't care about Australian politics. Like, Australia don't. The top world power.
Do
No one
you
gives a
buy
shit
lots
about
of
Australia.
kangaroo meat? No, then it doesn't fucking matter.
Now, Australia provides a lot of base metals that produce mobile phones and other technology.
Great.
Whoa. It's so exciting.
You say that now. If the Australian Prime Minister is listening to the podcast, he's like, well, I'll show them. And he just shuts his country
but
down
the
for a
problem is,
month.
this
And the
podcast-
supply of phones shuts down immediately.
This podcast is 2 hours long. That's 50% longer than any president has lasted in Australia in the past few years. Like, by the end of this podcast, there'll be a new one in, and you'll have to start again. You can't do it. It's too long. See? There was an Australian politics joke for you. Hey!
Right now, someone is just running across the outback to a kind of just a pool somewhere. Oi, Mr. Prime Minister! Andy!
Was he from Mary Poppins, that person?
I was just
Gem-
trying to reference
Gemini,
The Simpsons,
Gem-
but I can't do accents. The Australian episode of The Simpsons is one of my favourites. Beautiful.
Yeah. So basically, that's why we care, because you think you rule the world. Like that's genuinely the reason.
The thing is, though, they kind of do.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. That's
That's the trade-off. Like, they're going to spend huge amounts of money on the military and have the biggest, baddest military in the world and have military bases everywhere. And as a result, we don't need to bother spending as much on the military. And so that's to our advantage. And to their advantage, it means they get to project force and economic clout and do whatever they want economically everywhere. So it kind of works for them too. It's fine.
Yeah. Apart from when they decide to elect a reality TV star.
Except
Yeah.
when they decide to elect the person who repeatedly asks his security consultants, but why can't we nuke other countries?
Yeah.
Because that's the point where it gets really scary, and it stops being a case of everyone else saying, America can do what it wants to. Wait, hang on. This affects us and everyone,
Well,
and the 6 billion people that are left because I hate India. No, wait, no, cut that bit out. Cut that bit out.
Can I make a clarification as well? Right? Just because we really fucking hate Trump does not equal us liking Hillary. Just to clarify that.
I
People
like
think
Hillary.
It is. You like Hillary?
I like Hillary.
Go on.
That's pretty much it. It's just
Someone's getting nice and aggressive in the comments following the line of, don't you guys understand how the president works, checks and balances? Yes, there's a lot of good checks and balances in the US, except when it comes to military action, where the president can actually do quite a lot unilaterally with executive orders and do a lot of really, really bad shit on his own.
good West Wing episodes about that. Really good
Also,
episodes.
honestly, right. For the president, they are more of a figurehead for the country. Yeah, there's not a lot they can do politically in a lot of ways, but they are a figurehead. And Donald Trump is not a good figurehead for anything.
No.
Because he's representing the country on the world stage. He's the public negotiator.
It's like
for that
having
country.
Boris Johnson as foreign secretary. Imagine the mess that would cause. You
No,
wouldn't want to
just
do that, would
imagine.
you?
Gosh,
He's gone
really.
very missing over the past few weeks too. Maybe
Everyone's
wherever
gone
Theresa
missing.
May's hiding, Boris
Yeah.
Johnson's hiding with her.
I would like to point out that that's because the Tory party is smart and they've gone, everybody, shh, Labour's exploding. Let's
They really are. I honestly was confused and thought I'd maybe wandered back in time and into America in the 1950s and 60s when I turned on Channel 4 News tonight and the headline was Labour accused of being infiltrated by 200,000 Trotskyists. It's like, I'm sorry, has McCarthy risen from the grave?
Yeah, why did you wipe out India? You could have
Where exactly were you hiding 200,000 Trotskyists? I'm not sure there are that many Trotskyists in the world right now.
They're all dressed up as horses. Yeah, where do you think the bees have gone? I don't know.
God.
Yeah, so, it's all a big, massive mess of horribleness. And speaking of No Man's Sky... no, fuck it, I don't want to talk about that. Let's talk... Hey,
I've actually done some reading about... I want to say one thing about No Man's Sky.
Oh, good, that's more than I do.
We should get this out of the way. We should get No Man's Sky.
I want to kind of comment on one thing on No Man's Sky, which I find fascinating, which is... On July the 12th... July the 7th, actually, No Man's Sky went gold. They proudly held up a CD and posted a picture on Twitter of everyone cheering and looking really, really happy.
Yeah.
Then a month
Not
later...
everyone in the world, I mind. That was a hell of a selfie. Everyone look up.
Obviously, only 6 billion people. We're not inviting those other billion. I don't like them. So then a month later, August the 7th, they decided to release all the patch. They released the patch notes for version 1.03, which I should add, of course, is still the point where technically it hadn't even launched yet. This is the period between going gold and not yet launched, where they released the patch notes for version 1.03, where they made some very minor tweaks, in the last month between actually having finished it, because they worked on this for 5 years. They worked for 5 years, so it went gold, and then in the final month, before it even launched, they made the following very, very tiny last-minute changes. Which is, they've added new endings, they've changed the overall progression system, the universe generation has changed, the terrain generation system has changed, the creature spawn rates in terms of diversity and density have changed, the planet hazards have changed, they've changed inventory system, the inventory allowance, the trading system, the survival mechanics, the combat balance, the scanning mechanics, and the script.
Yeah.
Which I've actually been through the game, and I think that's everything. I can't find anything they haven't changed. They have literally, in having worked on a game for 5 years... in the last month, just said, screw it, we will change everything. And that is slightly worrying.
It's no,
that was announced and released 2 days before it released on the PS4.
Yeah, but fuck people who have shitty internet connections is the general
Dan, didn't you have a theory about this?
Did I? Shit, I have a lot of theories, Matt. What's my theory?
Yeah, it was the DRM theory.
Oh yeah, I wonder if they've actually done this as a Sony thing. If Sony's going, look, this is a game that's going to be pirated to shit. If you're not, or maybe someone's gone up to them and gone, look, if you don't DRM on it, why don't you just not put half the game on the disc? So if they do crack it, they got a shittier copy. Might be a thing. You never know, and we'll never know. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's because I've seen this argument everywhere because apparently it's awful. A lot of people have gone, it's Sony funded it. A lot of people go, no, Sony didn't fund it. Sony paid for the entire marketing for that game, which I would easily bet was more money than that game cost to make.
Oh yeah,
by quite a way. So when you say Sony didn't spend any money, Sony spent a bit of money on that game. I'd say
I need to make a correction based on something that just actually came up in the comments. People have correctly pointed out that they haven't actually changed literally everything, other than the progression, the endings, the universe, the creatures, the inventory, the planet hazards, the allowance, the trading system, the survival mechanics, the combat mechanics, the scanning mechanics, and the script. They haven't changed the FOV.
That's true.
That is exactly the same as it was. Don't worry, it's still nice and tightly focused, so you don't get distracted by things off to the side of you.
Yeah, because everyone likes to play a game where it looks like you're looking down the lens of a fucking sniper
like
scope.
It's a game. It's like, look at the scale of everything. Look at these big planets. By the way, you can only look like
9. The field of view is just 9.
Look at the scale of it, but then kind of turn slightly to continue looking at the scale of it, and then just keep turning because it's going to take a while. But eventually, you'll get the scale of it. It's fine.
Yeah. I had an interesting thought about No Man's Sky, because we haven't yet received a review code.
We've been offered a PS4 one, but
like I said, we haven't yet been offered a review code for the proper version of the game. Which is true, because seriously, a 50 field of view, which is what it is horrific.
I'm still not sure if that's vertical.
It runs at 30 FPS. It runs at like 15
Barely.
FPS if you're boosting around a planet.
Ugh.
No, I have no interest in playing that version of the game.
Slow loading
I'd much
times.
rather wait 2-minute opening
Have you
load time.
seen the fucking draw distance is terrible? Have you seen even the
Right.
textures?
I
look
think the
muddy?
draw
They
distance is
claim
gonna
they've
stay.
improved it. They claim it's going to be better. That's one of the changes
Well,
in
those changes are out now. That
1.03.
version 1.3.3 is out now, so the video we're seeing now is the changes.
But remember, as he said, if you're playing an early copy, don't share it because it's not the game people will be playing at all. It's going to be completely different to...
Someone in the Twitch chat said, did you guys see in the AMA on Reddit, Sean Murray mentioned the FOV. Yeah, he mentioned he hasn't added it to the PC version yet, but they're working on it now.
It's out in 2 days.
I have many questions about that, but literally, if I make it a first-person game, the first thing I do is I go, right, let's change the field of view to something human. Because I don't want to see, it's the whole universe. I want to look up and go, no, it's the whole universe. Hang on, then scroll across the screen like a fucking dot matrix printer. Now I've loaded it all in my fucking head. Yeah, it's, yeah.
No, this is the most incredible crunch time I've ever seen.
They've got one of those hyperbolic
in a month
time
they've done that and they're
chambers.
still working.
I bet they've actually worked out a way of entering this world and time's slower there, like in fucking Inception. That's what's happened.
No, this is my big worry about the game, where it's like we're working on the PC version. It's out in 2 days. We're adding much needed improvements. It's out in 2 days.
Yep.
What could you possibly add in 2 days?
Yep.
My big worry is a developer is going to die.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
deeply
explodes.
worried by the programmers at this point. This sounds like Peter Molyneux level bullshit requests, where he apparently just swanned into rooms, said, I want this, and then walked out without explaining how or bothering to check, what the timescales were going to be. I suspect someone's just done this. They've just kind of swanned in and said, yeah, we just want a completely brand new universe creation algorithm.
I think
Can
what
you knock
happened,
that
though,
together in a couple of weeks?
I think what happened is when they were like, it was like 5 minutes, like about an hour before the game was supposed to come out. And they went, we've done it, we've finished it, we have made an entire video game universe. It's a disc, and on this disc is an entire universe. And then someone turned to them and went, what are you doing this game? And they went, shit! Quick! We have to fuck! And they had a month to add the game. I believe that's how it's gone down from the reviews.
Has anyone actually ever seen Sean Murray and Peter Molyneux in the same room at the same time?
No, but that could be because they're playing No Man's Sky, and apparently even if you're in the same room at the same time, you don't see each other.
Oh, I love that. Like, the thing is, I didn't think it was an online game. I thought it was single player.
It is. Apparently it's just because they said that it's the servers getting hammered, but they also said the PC version wasn't delayed up until like a day before the day before it was supposed to come out, and then didn't.
It is, but it is pure Peter Molyneux that they did overtly state and make a big deal of the fact, it's very unlikely players will meet, clearly implying players can meet. Like, if you're going to put that into the world, you can't be surprised when people call bullshit on you when it turns out there's no way of meeting and actually it's just updated server data.
All the issues that I have with the way this game was done was with the PR and marketing, and that's all Sony's fault, as we've established. So I blame Sony. Sony are on my shit list for this.
If it didn't have all this overhype to it, it would just kind of be a mediocre space game that came out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, see, that was the thing I was saying. We haven't got a review code for it yet, and then I was like, I'll have to buy one. And then I looked at it on Steam and went, that's too much. I'm buying that. So if I don't do a video on it, it's because I never got a review code. It's very rare that I look at a game and go, that's a lot. I mean, I'm into fucking VR. I'm like, what's this? It's a hamburger game. You're a hamburger and you can flip yourself around. £20. Fucking bargain! But
you can actually spend £20 if you want to be a window washing simulator on VR, by the way.
That's amazing.
It's what's it called? It's got some flipping pun title. Scratch your glass or something. I can't remember what it bloody is now. It is genuinely just, you just wash windows. You get taken up on a little window.
We've looped back to the eye toy. That's what we've done here.
Literally, you just take with one hand. You just do a little sponge, and then you scrape off with the other, and it makes a squeaky noise. And the more efficient your window clean, the more points you get.
That's amazing. And
I think it's pain in the glass or something. Let's see if I can find pain in the pain.
I realised, like, seeing people play at No Man's Sky. I think one of the big issues with it is a very hollow game. It's very hollow.
Oh, can I say the thing that I said it was gonna be when it was first announced? Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle, but in this case it's wide as a universe and deep as... It's got nothing to it.
No, yeah, but like, I've just seen people, you go around, you go to a planet, it's randomly generated, and it looks nice, but, yeah. And you fly around it, and you smash some rocks to get fuel.
Yeah, it's just a standard survival game, apart from you can just fling yourself between identical planets.
You find a random alien just living alone on a planet for some reason, and
there's lots of ships flying around and shit. Jim Sterling has reviewed it, and he's given it a score of 5 out of 10, which is apocalyptically awful if we follow the standard scoring system of how things do things. But that's it. He's in his review. He said nothing ever surprised him. Every planet, right? This is the thing that I don't like about it. Every planet's got life on it. Pretty much.
Does it?
Yeah, pretty much. Because they said it was like, 1 in 100 planets is going to have life on it, and 1 in 100 of those is going to have like animals and shit on it. So it's going to be a really rare occurrence. But apparently, every planet you go on is just here's bumpy terrain and some trees scattered about the place. It feels like just like I wanted life to be. I wanted it to be like dead rock, dead rock, dead rock, dead rock, dead rock. Oh, how about this one? Oh, it's got a little tree on it, and you get really excited about that little tree. But apparently, everything is just teeming with life.
Which you've kind of got to think, like, they didn't have much option but to do that, because for every person who'd really appreciate the fact that life is precious and rare and it's a special occasion, you get 99 people who would, like, play for 2 hours, having not found anything they deem interesting, would just leave a negative review and say, boring game, completely empty.
Yeah,
Don't avoid.
But here's my thing, because I'm kind of doing a game that's quite boring. Doing a big game that it's very much boring and it's slow, and I'm designing it to be boring and slow. And anybody who's like, this is boring and slow, I'm like, yes, you're right. No, fuck off! I don't care about you. This isn't a game made for you. I'm making this game to be this game, and I feel like because this is a very niche game. Fucking Sony again. If Sony hadn't got involved with this game would have come out today, and we would have gone, oh, what's this? And then would have done videos on it. It would have got fucking 7, 8 out of 10 everywhere. But now it's going to get like 4s and 5s because Sony just piled money behind it. It's a really interesting. I think the thing about No Man's Sky is that years from now we're going to look back at it as a study of how not to do marketing, like how not to market something so small and try and make it so big, because it is just I kind of feel like it's going in two ways. Like I people who are on my Patreon, you'll see that I posted a picture of like the flow of the gameplay for the game we're working on, one of the games we're working on, and everything goes to one point, and that's essential. Everything your player does goes to one point, and that one point is the thrust of the game. And anything I add, if it doesn't add to that, then there's no point in adding it to the game. But I feel that No Man's Sky has 2 of those points. There's survival and there's exploration, and they just don't really tie into each other. Like, they have like vague little ties over, but it feels like half the game's mechanics go to exploration, half of them go to survival, and there's very little crossover. And I know that's so they can go, it's you can play it any way you want, but it just kind of makes the game feel wishy-washy and vague because you sort of want to do everything. It's a bit of a fucking mess, really. Apparently, I just all the terrain I've seen from it is like, here's another procedurally generated thing. Look, it looks procedurally generated. Here's some animals. What do you do? Well, they're not solid, and you can walk through them, and they don't really exist. And they
are just a mishmash of like pre-generated parts.
Yeah, see, that's what I think is missing from this game compared to Spore, which is pretty much the exact same sort of thing. Apart from you didn't like wander around. You could always go and land on planets. Could you land on planets in Spore? Oh, that was one of the expansion packs. Like you land on planets in the end. But when you were going around and meeting all these other creatures and stuff, they were all designed by other people, and some of them were funny and some of them were weird. It added that nice strangeness to the universe. Whereas
it did add an excessive amount of penises, though.
Yeah, but doesn't everything? Doesn't everything? I mean, that's comedy for you. It's.
I mean, you did just go around finding the planet of the dicks, and then the planet of the other dicks.
Yeah.
And then the planet of the 2 dicks with dicks instead of legs.
Yeah, that was great. That was actually, no, I mean, because they did do a good job of like the ones you could actually access had to go through their fucking filters and stuff, so you didn't actually see particularly many penisy ones. So I thought it was it was a much more interesting experience because you had that weird blobby, like pulley, twisty, interesting way of building your characters up. But then this is just a bit more glue some arms to that body, this legs and that, and it's like if it's got loads of parts, then they could have it's 18 bazillion different combinations when really it's like just arms, head, legs, different, and it doesn't really you don't get that much variety.
And you'll notice the same head, like you know I forgot what to say. Fuck it.
Brilliant.
Maybe because it's the perfect head. Maybe because evolution figured out it made the perfect head, so it doesn't matter where the animal evolves on whatever planet, it will always evolve to that head because it is functionally perfect. So evolution will always get you to that same perfect head.
Remember what I was going to say, right? You know, there's a distinct problem with game design and what consumers think will make a good game, because consumers are bad at
they're the worst. Like, if it was playtesting that removed this, then it's playtesting that killed this game.
But, like, there's this general idea on, like, the idea of, like, let's have a to-scale size city. Let's have a massive universe. You know what happens in a massive universe? Very little. Mm-hmm. Like, this is why people most developers make these linear experiences, because they're interesting.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, it's also a problem with procedural generation, in that if you procedurally generate everything, then you've given up control. I mean, there is an art to procedural generation, and when something beautiful comes out of it, that's wonderful. But it does mean that everything's going to look kind of the same and not great, and you lose that artistic flourish, like that. The game I was talking about, Abzu, whatever the fuck it's called, is stunning. It is one of the most beautiful games, and I know I know that at some point I actually looked it up because it was the guy who made Journey. It's his next game, and it's much, much better than Journey because it fixes the problem I had with Journey, which was Journey tried to add gameplay and didn't need it, and this goes, you don't need gameplay. And it's much better. But everything just looks like fucking painting. It's beautiful. It's like one of the...
Wait, it's got less gameplay than Journey?
Yeah, because I said that every now and then Journey fucked me off, like, a lot, because...
Are you sure it wasn't just accidentally a painting you hung on your wall and assumed was a game for a couple of hours?
I wish I would. But no, with Journey, like, Journey would be like, oh, no, this isn't a game. This is like Flower. It's just like you've got a goal, but you just float to it. Oh, you missed that thing! There was a thing there you've been collecting, and you missed it, and now you can't go back, and now you're frustrated, and that's not an emotion we were trying to get across here, because we tried to make it into a game. That happened a lot. Like, Journey kept going, ooh, puzzles, and it didn't really want them, whereas this one goes, no, just swim and enjoy the fishes. And it's fucking breathtaking. Like, I've not seen that many things moving. It feels like, you know when you get one of those, like, tech demos of this is what games are going to look like in the future? It feels like one of those. Super good. I really recommend it. There'll be a video up at some point soon, which I had no idea what it was when I played the game, so the video is quite entertaining.
Someone in the chat says, so people who play games are less important because suck them out. No, people who play games are just bad game designers.
Oh yeah, if you ask anybody now what they want from a game, they'd want We Happy Few. But the shit bit of We Happy Few. And that's fine. I mean, if that's selling and you want to make that game, make that game. But if you're not... Like, I'm desperately trying to not make that game, but I kind of want to get to somewhere that's a little close to it. I'm like, I know that, like... I don't want to say anything. But the stuff I'm setting up, I'm like, look, this could be taken in that direction, but we're not going to take it in that direction because we want to have it over here where we can do something interesting with it. If we take it over there, it's every other game. And you got to know where to tread that path. And I think if No Man's Sky was most of the planets are dead... Like, if No Man's Sky went more the truck simulator route... Like, because when you're playing, like, American Truck Simulator, there isn't a fucking car chase and explosions every 4 seconds. Like, if you got the... And, like, you don't have to, like, stop off to eat and drink, and then you gotta, like, pierce, and then you gotta, like, hide the hooker's body. You don't have to do any of that stuff. But if you actually ask people what they wanted, that's what they put into the game. And you've got to separate that thing off. I mean, if they did get the backing from Sony, that may have pushed them into other places, but... It just feels like it's bolted on all the survival stuff, and it feels really, like... I know, because all the survival stuff I've seen is, like... how the number on the side of your screen goes down. In fact, Jim Sterling said that the difference between like a super cold planet and a super hot planet was A, the colour palette, and B, just what icon was in the bottom left corner. That was it, and there wasn't anything. You just upgraded that thing, and it was sort of done. But, yeah.
It does feel to me like 2016 is possibly going to be the year that hopefully people get a bit bored of there being just too many survival games.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of survival games around now, and it feels like there quite a few of them are getting a bit of backlash.
Should we have a look at what the top sellers are on Steam? No Man's Sky, not surprising. RimWorld, not surprising.
RimWorld's excellent.
I just haven't got past that tutorial because there isn't one. I haven't got.
No,
that,
there is no tutorial.
I haven't got through that strength.
You just eat shit for 3 hours, then start having a really amazing time.
See, I don't like that. I need, like, for that I need a run up. I need to be like, I'm fucking playing RimWorld today, and then I'll sit down and be like, play RimWorld. At the end of it, I'm like, fucking hell, RimWorld's amazing. But if I try and go into that with I want to play a game for 5 minutes thing, I just can't do it. Like, I've got to actually take time out of my day to think about RimWorld and like look shit up and actually want to care. And see, that's. But I'm glad they've
needs
done
a little
that.
bit of a prison architect style intro. Yeah, that's all it needs.
But they've actually gone, hey, we're going to do this our own way. And I'm like, great, you actually make, like, if they listen to me, they're like, oh shit, we should simplify it. Oh, no, just add a fucking tutorial. Like, you can get to the things that I want, you need to just go around a different way. So yeah, that's an important thing for game devs to listen to. Listen to player feedback, but don't listen to the solutions they want.
The beauty thing about RimWorld is it has the range to it, which is when you first start off, you are basically, when people join your camp, they can be completely naked, and you've got to actually find a way to sew them a shirt so they're not just wandering around naked, and your food will just spoil constantly. But as you build up, you don't just like build up like defenses and a castle and whatever. You can start like doing technology and building power armor and rocket ships and blasting off into space and shit. So that actually feels like there's a real technological progression, which I really like, because too many like survival games, like the highest tech tier you'll ever really get to is just some decent armor, a good sword, and a castle that monsters can't penetrate. But you can't really kind of like feel like you're building things. But if you want to, you can build like a massive automated tech center with a space program in RimWorld. It just takes time, and I love that.
Someone in the chat has just said that No Man's Sky is a great game, but overhyped like Fallout 4. And I mean, they're inherently different games in that No Man's Sky is by an unproven developer who's done nothing like that before.
They made Joe Danger, I think.
You know, nothing. You know, pretty unproven.
I do like that. If you like Fallout, they were the ones that made Joe Danger, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they kind of went, we're gonna make a game that's like Excitebike. We're gonna make another game that's like Excitebike. We're gonna build a universe. We're like, whoa, shit! What the fuck happened to you guys?
I don't know, but whatever it is, give some of it to Telltale Games.
Oh,
Because those guys need to get out of their little comfy rut.
okay, we need to talk about the Batman game.
Batman.
Do you just want to talk about business practices like a nerd,
Okay,
though?
first of all,
Here he goes. Guys, just
I'm gonna
come back in
tap
8
over.
minutes.
I'm
He'll be
gonna tap
done.
over.
Come back in 8 minutes. I'm going to go for a drink while Matt rants.
Fuck you. Right, look, I made a video about the way they do the business thing because they're selling them as a full product at the start now rather than per episode, which means you're buying an early access game without it being an early access game. Anyway, I hate fucking Telltale games now because for some strange reason, right, this game looks and plays and animates and everything exactly the same as a game from 5 years ago, one of their games from 5 years ago.
Yeah, is that because they're just making the same game because it makes them a shit ton of money and critical acclaim?
No, it's not even like it's just the same. Like it's the same. Like 5 significant choices per episode.
Yeah.
It's so predictable. And this game, the reason The Walking Dead was good was because at the time it wasn't predictable. It was new, and now they're just doing the same thing. Did you know that that's his password to the Batcave in the Lego Batman movie?
Yes, we know that thing. We know everything. We know you.
But I kind of you start there playing it. It's like you get the 5 choices at the end. It's like, oh, did you choose to do this thing or this thing? And then I watch some people play it, and it turns out no matter what you choose, the dialogue is exactly the same.
Yep.
It's just aesthetic. So it's a game that plays itself. There's a bunch of QTEs, which it's like you start the game and it says press E to fire Batarang. Press E, and it just plays an animation. Like, oh.
No, I have to correct you there. If you're playing with a controller, it says press A.
Oh, whoa. Hold up.
So you can have 2 very different experiences depending on what control mechanism you're using.
Like, it's just QTEs and then like a load of dialogue. And like I noticed, like I watched the video you did yesterday on it, John, where it was just like you chose the completely different responses than I did, right? Mm-hmm. It made no difference.
Well, it never does in Telltale games because you can't expect when there's 5 episodes, episode 1 is going to end in exactly the same place and episode 2 is going to be in exactly the same place because they're not going to gate off whole scenes.
It wasn't even that it ended in exactly the same place. It was that, like, things that it was like, oh, this is a significant thing, and no matter what you do or say, it doesn't matter.
I mean, it might make like a bit of difference, like how characters treat you, but it's never going to make any difference to the wider plot because it can't, because they're not going to gate off content. Interestingly, Square Enix did have the balls to gate off content in Life is Strange, which is a much better episodic game.
Yep.
And if you messed up and characters died, then you actually missed entire scenes in subsequent episodes. If your Kate dies in episode 2, you don't get a hospital scene with her later. Screw you, she's dead. They actually gated off content, said you made bad decisions, screw you.
Yeah.
And they had the guts to do that, and I admire that. And Telltale would never do that.
They never want to change the game, and I'm sick of like I was sat there it's about these episodes are always about 2 hours long, so you know exactly how long they're going to take, you know exactly how many things they're in. And for the most part, I was just sort of sat there. It was a movie, and the problem is they're not well enough written or acted to be a good movie, and they don't have any gameplay to be a good game. So they're a bad game and a bad movie. So they do both of the things they're meant to do badly. So it's just bad.
I think the level of waffle has been increased, which is like when I was editing it out, I gladly cut out like half of the entire speech because they just waffled on and on and on. Typically like establishing stuff about the Batman universe that
Hey John,
surely everyone will know.
John.
Yeah.
Did you know Bruce Wayne's parents were killed?
I now know that 3 separate times because it decided. I think actually 4 separate times. Like because it's raised twice in a row in the ballroom, and then it gets raised again when the picture falls to the ground. And I think there's a 4th time in there somewhere as well.
It's when his Dead Parents song plays on the radio. No, parents. Best Batman.
It's just ridiculous. It was just the stupidest thing. Like in the end, it just became so farcical. When it came to the picture that fell to the ground, he came towards us saying, "Yeah, that's gonna be his dead parents." And it's like, no, I'm not having this. So I just basically I just edited in a photo of a cute cat over the top instead. I just had it just happened to be a photo of his cat. Screw it. I'm not having it be his bloody dead parents.
But like one of the things at the end of this episode is that there's a fight scene, right? And it's weird because in a game that you were expecting to be mainly about investigation Batman, right? It does way more action scene Batman than an Arkham game would.
But I quite like you plan the attack ahead of time and link guys to what you want to mash them with. That's kind of good, actually.
But it's one of those things that kind of sounds cool in concept. When you look at it, you realize it's just you choose which animation out of the 2 they made do you want to look at. Is essentially all it is. It makes no difference to the gameplay. You're not doing anything different, and it's just a QTE.
Jane.
Sorry. I'm
But no,
playing Batman off.
Jane.
Right, here's the deal. Right, we know Batman. I've seen him 1,000 times. There's currently 18 different Batman franchises, all running with different Batmen at the same time. Couldn't give a fuck. And I made the number up, but you know what? I think that's pretty accurate thinking about it.
I've watched some of the cartoon movies recently. Fuck, you want to keep up canon there? Fuck me. Yeah.
I want to see the Killing Joke, but that's because that looks like it's actually the first interesting Batman
The Killing
thing.
Joke.
That's supposed to be terrible.
Okay, it was okay as a movie, and then I proceeded to watch The Dark Knight Returns, which is the one starring Peter Weller as Batman, and it's 2.5 hours long, and it's like the best one of the best, if not the best Batman movie I've ever seen.
Good.
Return of the Joker is better.
It's like
Screw you.
Return of the Jedi is better.
Like they stole a bunch of bits from it to use in Batman v Superman, but and it does Batman v Superman, but there's context to it because it takes place like after the Justice League happened and all the shit happened with the Justice League, and Bruce Wayne's like old and he's been away for 10 years and all this shit.
No, old Bruce Wayne must be Batman Beyond Bruce Wayne. Though admittedly, actually, the events of Dark Knight Returns do actually happen in Batman Beyond. He doesn't acknowledge it.
Oh.
So that is all part of continuity, which is lovely.
I like how the only Batman thing I ever said that I cared about was Killing Joke. Another Twitch chat going, "It's shit, don't say it." All right,
it's not shit. It's pretty.
I'll continue to hate Batman. Right. It's fine. I don't give a shit.
It's pretty alright.
Batman. What else? I played Lego Star Wars. What piece of shit the Lego series games are? I mean, fucking hell. I thought maybe they'd be doing something new, and to be perfectly honest, they've added something new to Lego Star Wars. They've added cover-based shooting.
With a lightsaber, that's impressive.
There are sections where the game just goes, cover shooting now, and it just crouches down and locks you behind a fucking thing, and you just shoot things, and it's just terrible.
You know how
those games are
Lego games
100% challengeless at this point. They are made exclusively for kids. And that annoys me, because every time I boot one up, I'm like, oh, maybe it's been a while since I played a Lego game. Maybe this is going to be, oh, God, no.
The original Lego Star Wars, the original Lego Indiana Jones was sort of like the heyday.
Well, they were the first ones. That's when they came up with the idea.
Yeah, and it was like, hey, let's do a cute little game about Lego with some challenge where no one talks and they communicate in ridiculous props.
Yeah.
And it was funny, and now it's like, let's just rip clips from the movie.
Yeah, they did have a Jurassic World. I played all the way through that fucking thing.
Oh, God, there's a fucking Lego Lord of the Rings, right? And it's the fucking most dull thing, because it's just Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But in Lego, it doesn't add any Lego charm, it's just in Lego.
Well, it's only the bits you can interact with are in Lego. Like, the rest of it's just sitting there.
But it's just like, I'm sat there going, Lord of the Rings is like the most, like, it's a very kind of grounded, dull thing, Lord of the Rings. And I'm sat there going, you could have made it fun with Lego and you just didn't. And what's the point?
I've never heard Lord of the Rings being described as grounded and dull. How grounded and dull can there be when wizards and dwarves and dragons and...
You know what I mean. Like, you wander around and I get what you know, because you know the way Dan, especially you complain a lot about like these worlds not being made of Lego.
Yeah.
Like, that is just all of fucking Lego Lord of the Rings. Just fucking hills. Just normal hills.
It looks very pretty. I mean, Lego Star Wars looks absolutely incredible. But it's just... I mean, that's why I like Lego Worlds, because it just looks like Lego. You dig a big hole and it's all Lego.
And I mainly just miss the clever, like, you know, kind of silent film dialogue.
Yeah, they still add the little bits of wackiness, but they used to tell the story through it, which was very clever. And now it just feels like they've cheapened on it.
Yeah, it really does.
It used to feel a bit picture. I mean, but the game is just challengeless. I mean, you die and you just come back, and that's sort of it. And there's 1,000 unlockables. There's no point going for them because you don't get them all in the first try. There's just a lot
Lego
of...
Harry Potter was good as well, and Lego Batman.
I played a little bit of Lego Harry Potter. I mean, Lego Batman 2 and stuff. When they're like open world, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I've literally never finished a Lego game apart from Jurassic World, and I did that for a series. That's actually... I finished the original on the PS2, the original Star Wars one. I finished that, but I think that's pretty much everything.
The original Lego Batman's one of my top played games on Steam. I've got 60 hours in it.
Bloody hell. Okay, yeah.
Don't know why, it was years ago.
Like, if a game's going, oh, we're going to have a challenge, like, they actually should probably put a challenge in there. Like, they could just literally have a parents mode and a kids mode. Like, have the current version as kids mode, then have a parents mode where you actually have to, you know, watch your health and stuff like that. Shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world to do. Actually add a bit of gameplay in there would be nice. Be totally down with that. That'd be good. Thanks, in time. I mean, if you want to make a game, like, again, like the fucking Watery Abzu thing, whatever it's called, then I've called that 15 different names in this podcast. But yeah, that game goes, there's no challenge, there's no puzzles, just enjoy the thing. I'm like, alright, let's enjoy the thing. But when it goes, oh, there's puzzles and it's not really there, I'm like, Arr. Like the way you hack things in the new Lego Star Wars, which is the Force Awakens one, is you just spin a thing around and then when it's right, it just locks in. So there's no like fail state, you just rotate the thing until it's done. Just hold the button and it's like, oh, there it goes, yeah, I did the puzzle by holding one button.
That's the problem I have with the Telltale games, is just very play itself, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably set up a book to just, you know, hold it E, and it'd be fine.
Well, you need to choose your own adventure a bit anyway. You don't need to proper choose your own adventure. You just need like 5 choose your own adventure choices. You're done.
Something.
The problem is, like, if it was actually choose your own adventure, I wouldn't mind, but it's not. It's like, imagine a choose your own adventure book, but it's like all the options just say turn to page 5. Doesn't actually make a difference.
What's on page 5?
I don't know.
Whatever it is, it must be incredible.
Oh, fuck you, John.
Nothing. Just nothing. Just Batman.
It's just a picture of Vicky Vale making out with Catwoman.
Vicky Vale.
Yeah. That's actually my entire goal in the new Batman series. I just want to, at some point during the game, ideally sleep with both Catwoman and Vicky Vale. I want to end up with both of them. That's it. As long as I can do that, I'm happy. If I have to like have sex as Batman with Catwoman and as Bruce Wayne with Vicky Vale, that's fine. Like, that's fine, because I think Batman might actually be Bruce Wayne. Like, it's vaguely hinted at in the first episode.
What?
The phone.
Whoa.
I know. That's all I want.
I'd love a mystery game where you're not playing as Batman, you're playing as someone investigating Bruce Wayne. And you know he's Batman because you're the player, but then you have to solve it as the person. He's like, I know it, I just feel it in my ass. And then you have to try and solve it. So you don't actually need the player motivation of why he knows it, it's just because the player knows it.
Like, I like it when someone in the Batman universe discovers that Bruce Wayne's Batman, and they go, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no one's ever gone,
figured this out before.
Yeah. I watched the small clips of the Batman vs Superman film.
Oh, right.
Which was like my first exposure to it. Actually, I think it was the CinemaSins video of it. There's a lot of shit in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later, no, I watched Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So Suicide
we'll take a first break after Matt's movie corner.
Yep, went to the midnight showing of that. It's an interesting film because critics fucking hate it.
Yep.
Right? And the general public seems to fucking love it. And a lot of people seem to think it's okay or like it's fucking everyone's ratings are all over the damn place. And I think it's very much because I think especially the critics and the general public thing, it's a very badly written and directed film, like from a production standpoint.
Yeah.
Like if you see a lot of films and you know, kind of know how they work and like that shit, you'll notice it and it'll annoy you. But if you don't, it won't, and you'll like it.
I'd like to point out that the as much as they like it a bit more, users don't particularly care for it on Metacritic.
Yeah, better than the critics do, but not spectacularly.
Yeah.
Because like it was It's weird because it's like a 2-hour movie, and the first hour is just them introducing the characters really, really slowly, and then the last hour is them just going through this like fight area really, really fast. And it feels like it cuts a bit out because it goes from this bit where it's like, ooh, these people are doing something in the city, and then it cuts to them getting to the city, and apparently like based in dialogue later, they assume like 4 days have passed, but they never mentioned that 4 days passed because like the entire city's evacuated and there's wrecked planes everywhere, and it's and they never really mentioned it at all.
Yep.
It's just sort of like
everyone who was in the city is just kind of hanging out in the country and they're going, yes, 6-day weekends.
Like it's just.
That's interesting. Hang on, I looked up Metacritic's Metascore for it, which is 40 with a user score of 6.7. And then I went to see like how high the user score normally is. So Finding Dory has a Metascore of 77 with a user score of 7.5, which is pretty identical. And then Star Trek Beyond has a 68 with a user score of 6.8, which is pretty interesting.
I'll take Rotten Tomatoes instead.
PFG 66 and 6.1.
So yeah, 26% critic on Rotten Tomatoes. 71% audience though.
Oh.
It's a weird film because the big thing I had a problem with as well is because there's a lot of superhero films and you a bit sick of superhero films,
Yeah.
So this kind of felt refreshing. It's like, oh no, they're villains. They'll be able to do different. No, they just acted like heroes.
Yeah.
Like they weren't villainous enough. Like there's many points in the film. Like the whole thing of the Suicide Squad is that they have like bombs in the neck, right? That they can be like blown up if they defy their masters essentially. And there are only 2 people in the world who can blow that up, right? And there is a point in the movie when both of those people are just stood there with no protection, and they all just go, eh. And then there's another point where one of them gets killed, gets their phone destroyed. So there's only one person in the world with a phone that can destroy them, and they're just there, and they're just like, eh. They would just kill them. That is what they would do. They would kill them.
Yep. But the film was written in 6 weeks, so.
Oh, awful.
You know what I actually found really interesting, which I haven't seen many people talking about, is the casting decisions that were made. In particular, that obviously this is one of the what's this the third entry into DC's big DC Cinematic Universe thing, and which they want to be a multi-billion franchise. They put a ridiculous amount of marketing budget behind. They want it properly, and I assume I've never hired Will Smith personally, but I assume he's quite expensive to hire. I'm just gonna make that assumption. And Margot Robbie probably is fairly expensive too, and yet for the main villain, Cara Delevingne?
No, awful villain, right?
But more importantly, a model with almost no acting experience whose biggest role was in Paper Towns, a crappy little indie rom-com that nobody liked. And they make her the main villain in the third big DC Universe movieverse. What the hell are they thinking?
She was good as acting as the Enchantress, right? She was good in the role. The problem was the role was the weakest piece of shit. like it was just like, oh, she evil. It was basically like they were writing it and they went, okay, we need a villain. Who's a villain? Enchantress? That'll do.
But all the rest of them are villains too. That's the thing.
That's fine.
All the rest of them are evil and villains.
Yeah, but it's like this is so little depth. It's like, what does she want to do? She wants to destroy the world? Why?
It's particularly unfair given, of course, she got very, very little attention before, and all the trailers made a really, really big deal that the Joker was going to be the villain. Wasn't.
All of the scenes that the Joker's in the trailers of the scenes he's in the movie.
Yep,
if you've seen all the trailers,
10 minutes. You've 10 seen minutes done.
Yeah. Awful.
Which is just like that is maybe not quite We Happy Few E3 trailer level lies, but pretty close.
Yeah, it's a very. A lot of people like it. Like people in the chat, the problem is I don't recommend it, but the literal fact is there's a probability you'll quite like it. So I mean, it depends how much you care about DC lore and actual how movies are made. Like if you care about a movie having good art direction and good direction and production, then you'll hate it. But most people don't. So I mean, Dan, you'd hate it.
Good.
Fuck, you'd wanna fucking.
I would be bored. I don't care for people.
No, I know, yeah.
I don't care for people and things.
Shall no. But okay, shall we restore a bit of hope to Dan's shriveled heart for one moment?
Okay.
Dan, how are you feeling about Just Cause 3 Bavarium Sea Heist DLC? Oh, never mind.
Like, I like Just Cause 3.
Never mind. There is no hope. The shriveled heart is shriveled
I think
too
Just
shriveled.
Cause 3 is great, but I still don't like fucking DLC. And I've played both the Just Cause 3 DLCs and gone, yeah, this is still not a thing I'm particularly care for. It's like, alright, give me...
The problem with the Just Cause 3 DLC is it doesn't really... I mean, it adds stuff technically, but it doesn't really do anything different to what...
Yeah, I mean,
they,
Just Cause 2...
they added too much fun stuff into the base game, so
I'd
there's
say
nowhere
that
for
was
them
the
to
issue.
go.
Just Cause 2 was like nice, a bit basic. Then 3, the DLC for 2 was a little bit more wacky. Like, you got that nice air propulsion kind of stuff, which like you play with the physics in a new way. This new one's kind of gone, have a new kind of gun. I'm like, I don't want a gun, I want a toy. You should give me toys.
I was like, here's
Yeah,
a
the
mech.
big
It's
thing
like
is
the
it's a satellite strike. It's a satellite lightning weapon in the new
Yeah.
C ones. Like, but we had like satellite orbital strike.
I
in
got
the
a
very
nuke in my
base
back
game.
pocket. I don't
We
give
already
a
had
fuck.
one.
Yeah. Although,
If you want to hit something from the air with a sat strike, you already could.
I did like
That
the
was a
mech.
thing.
I like the mech with its force powers. I've spent a fair whack of time flying around being
Oh,
silly with
that's
the
fun.
mech. That's the
Yeah, I
best
think
thing
they
they added.
completely they completely ran out of stuff to Sea Heist, so it's just a massive oil rig thing with a lightning gun in it.
I think
That's
they
it.
span those round at some point. Because I wouldn't end on the sea one. If you say air, land, and sea, air's the one that's going to get the more attention and be more interesting. Land in second place and sea in third. No one ever goes, ooh, hope the new GTA's got boats. You know, no one gives a fuck. That's like really far down people's list. So I assumed that was going to be the middle one. But I feel that they've switched one of them round at some point.
They should have done land, sea, and air.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would be the order I would release it in.
Nope.
Land, sea, and air is,
Wait.
but I assume they wanted to sell more of it because it was under.
I always felt like
It's
Just Cause
Square
3
Enix. Like, if it didn't sell 18 bazillion copies, it didn't sell enough. That's how they roll.
I
isn't it?
always with Just Cause 3, right? I feel it's one of those games that suffers from much like No Man's Sky, and even to extension. I was playing Space Engine before, and Space Engine they want to make a game out of Space Engine, and frankly, I think if they
They
make
have.
a game out of
It's
Space
called
Engine,
Rodina,
that
and it's
would be-
amazing. I played that again
Well,
this week because I was like, all right, I'm setting myself a baseline for No Man's Sky.
Thing is, Rodina's in a single solar system. Isn't
Yeah, that's what makes it fucking amazing.
it is. This is the problem. Space Engine would be terrible as an actual game because it's too big.
Yeah.
It's too big. It's great as a
Rodina fits
exploration,
my
like,
open world rule, which is no more than 10 minutes from corner to corner.
This is
On
the
the
problem.
fastest setting. Fastest vehicle, 10 minutes corner to corner, you've got yourself a world-sized map.
This is the big problem with these big games. And Just Cause 3 is a problem in that it goes, look how big the world is, but it doesn't feel big. It's weird, gives you a weird sense of scale.
What?
Is
Just
everything-
Cause, well, because everything's built for the slowest form of transportation you have in Just Cause 3 is a fucking wingsuit.
I know, but it's the problem I have with it is everything's massive, but nothing looks big.
I think things look. I think it's because what I do when I boot up Just Cause 3 is I open up my wingsuit and piss around and just fly around a bit because I
Yeah,
think it
well, I
feels
do as well.
fucking incredible.
It's incredible,
That's
but
what
it
I like
feels like
about
they. But it feels like they made that one mechanic and then built the whole world around it, but didn't bother putting any other real.
I would
mechanics
say
in
that
it.
the world of Just Cause...
Or anything in the world.
The world of Just Cause 3
Yeah.
is built for that wingsuit first. They went, we've got a new toy, we want to build the world for it, which I think is an amazing way of doing things.
Yeah, but they didn't put anything else in the world.
No, that's
Yeah,
the problem.
if you see a farmhouse over there and it's like, I'm going to land and see what's in it. No, there's going to be nothing in that farmhouse or that field or that garage or anything because there's never
just-
anything anywhere.
Yep.
Because there's no real collectibles and nothing worth collecting.
Like Just
anywhere,
Cause 2,
ever.
it did have a lot of like, because there were a lot of different biomes, and and there were a lot of kind of little secret bases, and there was the cool Lost Island, and there was all this shit, and it doesn't really have any of that.
Oh, it's got a lot of Easter. It's got a lot more Easter eggs 3 over 2.
It does, but not.
It's got a lot
not-
more silly stuff in it.
Yeah, but I don't really.
Oh,
silly. I want
fucking shit up with a pogo stick is my favourite thing. Trying to get a pogo stick across the entire
The
fucking
problem is,
map.
like, Just Cause 3 is good for you because they very much make your own fun game, but I want it to give me an objective and be like, hey, here are some fun ways to do this objective. And this is the same, like, I think John mentioned this a while back as well, like the idea of, you can pick a bus up with a helicopter and use it as a battering ram, but it's a really inefficient way to do stuff. It's just easier to...
I think that's
Not-
where Just Cause 3 would fall down. I mean, if what you want to have with Just Cause 3 is you want to have the bases as much as they're fun just to part because I go, oh, I'm going to do it this way just to see if I can. the bases in Just Cause 3, they need to have like a variety of what the kind of bases are. Like, you wanted something where actually getting a bus, like you needed like a hole in a rock that was like a vent. It's like, hey, if you clog this vent up, it's going to explode a thing. So then you'd have to go and get your bus and smash it through and then stick it down a tube. Or pile a few cars in there, sort of thing. They needed to fit a bit more bases because the tool set is amazing. Like Just Cause 3's tool set, the stuff you get is amazing. Grappling hook with the reeling is a brilliant thing. They just needed to build a few more bases that use the tools more, like forced you.
Yeah,
use the
you don't
tools.
get rewarded for creativity. I don't think.
It was like
enough.
it was like that cargo plane that you can fit like 12 cars, and it's like, well, yeah,
No
but,
point, really.
Yeah,
and like
well,
I was just thinking, like last night, I saw that you just did Saints Row 2. So I saw your Saints Row 2 video,
yes.
and like very first room, you can pick up the wheelchair
Yep.
and throw it.
Yep.
And picking just random stuff up and throwing it is an effective tactic you're rewarded for using because it's a powerful thing that will kill people in one hit.
Yep.
So you are rewarded through creativity by a fun thing that's also useful gameplay wise. And I think that doesn't work in Just Cause as well. You can toy around with things and make kind of improvised weapons, but they're almost always vastly useless next to the generic tools you've just been given.
I think Just Cause 3 and Saints Row 2 have different things, though, is that I will boot Saints Row 2 up and then, like, I can play the game. Like, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of things to do, whereas Just Cause 2 was the same. When I was done with the thing, and I get through the thing quite quickly, then it's just a game I boot up if I want to enjoy, like, the little bit of physics that I enjoy. So in 2 it was the grappling hook and the parachute, and in this one it's the wingsuit, and that's what I really get out of those games. Is it just becomes a little distraction. I think like a lot of people are like, oh, I finished Just Cause 3 in 10 hours or 20 hours, wherever long it is, and then it was done. What do I do now? And I'm like, well, you're done. That's it. That's what I like. I like a game to be done and draw a line and be.
The problem is though, Just Cause 3 is just like a £40 wingsuit game.
I'm totally down with that though, because it
essentially.
felt.
No, but I
That's what I want. Why don't people make more of those things?
it's very shallow is the problem.
Yeah, but it
I want something with more.
No. You see, it's
You
not.
know.
It's not that it's shallow. It's that it's narrow. Just Cause 3. It's deep. There's a
narrow.
lot of tools. It's literally the opposite of the problem that a lot of games have. Is it gives you a lot of tools, but doesn't give you enough form. Like I can deal with this a lot more because then you can go and you can do this sort of stupid shit that I do in my videos and do challenges and shit. And you can actually then go, oh, I'm gonna see if I can put a fucking train in a plane with a car in it and do the mad shit that you can do, which is rewarding itself. So it's deep, but it's just not very wide. That's the problem with Just Cause. In fact, all the Just Cause games. That's the way around they have it.
Especially 3 though. 3 feels like it's just narrowed even more, backed itself into a bit more of a
I think it
corner.
just had less towns and shit in it to blow up. I feel like I got through it a lot faster. I don't know if that was because I was super excited for it or anything.
No, yeah, my total playtime Just Cause 3 is 44 hours, and that is 100%ing it and doing all the DLC so far to 100%.
My Just Cause 2 one's probably about that long. I spent a lot of time playing it, but it's yeah. I don't know, I like it. I'd rather have tools. That's what I like in game. I'd rather you give me lots of interesting tools that collide in interesting ways.
Yeah, but they need to reward you though. Is what John was saying.
Yeah.
Kind of-
I'm also
I
curious
totally
as to
understand.
where they go next.
Like, I totally understand. Like, when people are like, oh, it's a 7 out of 10 game, I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's a 7 out of 10 game. I think 7 out of 10 games are where you put the experiments. Like, because the 7 out of 10 is supposed to be average, but I think a lot of, like, games that are experiments sort of fall in there. Like, the original Mirror's Edge was very much a 7 out of 10 game, and that was because it was a failed experiment. For a lot of people, it was failed.
Just Cause 3 kind of feels like that, but Just Cause 3 kind of feels like they built a world and a wingsuit mechanic, and then kind of forgot to build a game around it.
They built the tools first. And I know they built the
Yeah.
tools first, because when I was with Just Cause 2, and I was getting into Just Cause 2, they were absolutely like, oh no, we know the next tools for Just Cause 3, we just haven't got to build the game around them.
But like, you see, in a game like Mirror's Edge, where the mechanics are the game, it kind of works. But in a game like Just Cause 3, you need to.
Yeah, but then Just Cause, then Mirror's Edge, which sort of Mirror's Edge is the perfect depth to width thing because it wasn't particularly long and they weren't particularly deep mechanics. It fit. Then they went, we've not got particularly deep mechanics with the running jumping and shit. We're going to make it an open world game, and then it is too wide and not deep enough. You got to have the right shit. That's how things. I've still not played Mirror's Edge Catalyst. That makes me feel weird that there's a sequel to one of my favorite games ever, and I'm not bothered to play it yet.
You know, I did ask for a review code and they didn't send us any.
I got one, but it was for PS4, and I was like, That's how, like, the thing. It's like there are two things that made me go. It's like PS4 code or Origin code. If either of those come up, I'm like, I'm gonna have to look at my Origin password. Just that's like, I've got a code for Star Wars Battlefront for Origin. And I'm like, oh, that's alright. If I can't be asked to boot a thing up and type in like a 16 character code, then that's just how little I care about that game. Probably a good sign. Probably a good sign.
There is one segment we did want to do tonight, which you definitely shouldn't forget.
Is it hashtag fuck Nintendo?
Yes, it's Fuck Nintendo News. Watch out, Jim Sterling, we're stealing your idea. Bum, 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 bum. Hashtag Fuck Nintendo. Who would like to start with their Fuck Nintendo news?
You should start because I am eating a cake. I actually want to point out there's a wonderful comment.
Rub in the fact that you've got a cake because somebody loves you and actually made you a thing because of their love.
Cake does equal love.
Rub it in. Rub it in that somebody loves you enough to make you a cake. Why don't you?
Cake. Very good.
Dan gets his cake and just awkwardly rubs it into your crotch.
Alright, Matt, write your friends on your own
that
time.
cake escalated quickly. I hope it's a nice moist cake, otherwise this is going to be a very uncomfortable experience.
Oh, I hope it's uncomfortable. What were you going to say, Dan?
I like this comment from the Twitch chat, which was, Dan was less whiny when he was 22. I just like that specifically 22. Like, before I'd done YouTube videos. Like, they knew me personally or something.
Oh.
I think I'm not too whiny. I'm eating a cake. Or do they mean less whiny, like, voice-wise? Yeah, maybe I Paul's hand job before then.
I mean...
Oh, it's a good cake, though. John.
Yeah.
John.
So today on Fuck Nintendo news, I'm going to start off with my bit of Fuck Nintendo news, which is the Metroid database, which is the biggest Metroid fan site on the internet, which has been running for 20 years. At this point, was served with a takedown notice, which has been confirmed to be legitimate since. There was kind of originally thought it might have been a spurious claim. No, it's turned out they have confirmed it is legitimate. They spoke to the solicitors. The reason why the entire site has been requested to be taken down is because they were briefly hosting a Metroid fan game, which was a fan... kind of not really like a remake so much as like a game that was very closely inspired by the Game Boy game Metroid 2, which was kind of snezzified up, recolored, but they added lots of new areas, new weapons. Like, it was maybe, it probably does not fall under fair use transformative or even close to it, but it was definitely not just here is a ROM that you can download from us or anything. There was, a lot of fan work that went into this. Because they were hosting it briefly, Nintendo, rather than writing them requesting they take it down, have decided that they're just going to shut down the entire site forever.
Aren't they fucking
Because
lovely?
Nintendo are dicks, and Nintendo have kind of been just kind of thinking, you know what? I really, really hate YouTubers that love our games.
The
And I
problem with
hate our
Nintendo-
fans, and I hate our fan communities. I hate fans so very, very
The
much.
problem with Nintendo, right, is like the marketing and like game development department seems to be completely separated from the legal and business department. Like, completely. Like, they're in separate countries doing separate things and they never talk to each other.
In this age of the internet and fans and fan communities, you cannot do this.
Yeah, but according to that takedown, Nintendo said the unapproved use of Nintendo intellectual property can weaken our ability to protect and preserve it or to possibly use it for new projects.
Oh,
Because
yes,
that
of course,
fan site
because
was
their
stopping
remake
all
of the
games.
Game Boy's Metroid 2 was coming any day now. And they've been doing such a good job as the stewards of the Metroid franchise recently, haven't they? Federation Force, everyone can't wait to get their fucking hands on Federation Force or Other M. Can't wait for that to
What's
come
that one
out
they just
again.
released? Wasn't there like a football one or something?
Yeah, Federation Force, a game that doesn't feature Samus or story or anything anyone would want to play Metroid for. Fuck it.
No, but there is the whole, you need to enforce your trademark to keep it, isn't there?
Yeah, but they're not trademarking anything. It was a fan site. They're not going,
Nintendo are just
Metroid.
falling further and further behind. And they are in, they've had many quarterly losses floating around recently. They should not be in the business of pissing off their biggest fans.
The problem
That
is,
should not be what they're doing.
the
If
pe-
they had
the people-
any sense in the world, they would you can tell when they're making stupid. Like, we can have opinions and we're biased because we live on the internet and we're YouTubers and whatever. But you can generally say a company's making a stupid decision if 99% of their competitors, who are doing better than they are doing a different thing. And every other publisher in recent years, pretty much, almost without exception, a few small holdouts like Quantic Dreams, for example, have basically said, hey, you know what, fan communities and YouTube channels and stuff are really, really useful. we should basically give them a blank slate to do what they want and not get in their way. And over recent years, the pendulum has really swung in our favour as publishers have said, we are basically a useful part of the infrastructure. Not Nintendo, not those dicks with their Nintendo Creator Program where they just fancy having 40% of your income.
Is it very much feels like Nintendo? I imagine the people making these decisions are the very kind of, like, very traditional Japanese businessmen.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Very traditional Japanese style business. Which is very kind of, I wouldn't say it's class-based, but it's very hierarchical.
Hierarchical.
Thank you.
You made that word up.
It's very much a thing sort of like where, you know, people below, often higher up execs who've been there for, 30 years, won't, if they make a decision, they won't question them.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the attitude in that sort of business world. And I feel like, the sort of Nintendo, whatever, the creator program, whatever it's called, I feel like that was a compromise between, like, the people going, this makes perfect sense, and the old business guys going, we don't want to do this. I think it sounds like the best they could do. And it feels like an unfortunate thing where you just have these kind of people stuck in the past. They're running everything and no one's willing to question them.
It's huge to talk about. Someone just commented Nintendo is a freaking monopoly. No, Nintendo is not a monopoly. Nintendo is a small fish that currently holds a handful of valuable franchises. Absolutely, Nintendo Go proves that they still hold some very, very valuable evergreen franchises, but they do not have anything close to a monopoly. The sales of their consoles proves that they have shed a lot of what used to be their biggest fan base. And some of their franchises, through misuse, like Metroid, have basically become not as valuable as they used to be because they've been trashed through neglect. Like, Nintendo does no sense have some form of monopoly that means they're in a secure position.
Here's the thing, though. I'll get onto my bit of fuck Nintendo news.
Excellent.
Nintendo takes down Nintendo Power Collection from Internet Archive after noticing it. It's Polygon's headline, which I think is quite scathing. The old magazine Nintendo Power from the 80s and the 90s, the Internet Archive had uploaded lots of them, over 100 issues. Nintendo saw then, and as soon as Nintendo noticed it, a couple of months later, they all had to be taken down because issues of an old magazine are going to infringe Nintendo's current... what the fuck is that one doing? Like, if they're going, it's got Metroid in it and we want to own all the Metroid words, then you can go, oh, fine. But, this one? This is an old magazine that you made.
Given this has actually happened twice, 2 takedown notices in the same week, it kind of feels like someone in Nintendo's legal department has just used the internet for the first time and has found a lot of shit they do not like.
Yep.
They just kind of blew the dust off the top of their computer, said, let's go on to this. Okay, Internet Explorer. Okay, what? Nintendo? Find me Nintendo, please.
No. You missed the step where they insert the AOL disc. That's a very important step for a Nintendo person. Insert the AOL free trial. Got loads of those.
Let's see how many followers the Nintendo MySpace has. Is 200 good, Jimmy? Yep, that's good. Okay.
Jimmy.
And the
traditional Japanese name. Jimmy.
Jimmy-san. Fine. Jimmy. Meanwhile, back... Okay, let's check the Nintendo Live Journal account. But what do you mean? We moved to Insane Journal. Okay, the Nintendo Insane Journal account. Lovely.
Yeah, well, good luck, developers of Pokemon Uranium, which is a fan game that took 9 years to make, that just came out a few days ago. Good luck. Enjoy your takedown.
Yep. But on the plus side, they apparently invented 100 new Pokemon, which normally I'd be very dismissive of, but given Nintendo have just announced there's going to be a sand castle that evolves into a bigger sand castle in Pokemon Sun and Moon, Matt,
Really?
seriously, Matt, find this. Find this and put it on the stream right the fuck now.
You know what, John?
Yes?
John? I refuse.
What?
Oh, boo!
Why?
I want to see it, Matt. Put it on
Go
the
to
thing.
cerebee.net and go to their Sun Moon section. They've got pictures there. It'll be on their
Then I'm going to
homepage.
have to edit it into the VOD.
Oh, God.
What's it
One
called?
edit. Fuck
Huh?
me.
Go to
What's it called?
cerebee.net.
How the fuck do I spell that?
Like Celebi, but the Japanese version.
How's that?
Like celery, but with entirely different letters.
SEREBII.net.
BILLE.
Fucking how the fuck? Why did you think I'd be able to spell that?
Because how else would you spell Cerebee?
I didn't even know what you were saying.
Sarah B! Look, it's in the chat.
Stop saying Sarah B.
Sarah
Sarah
B!
B.
Sarah
Wait,
B,
where is
not
it?
Sarah
Where is it?
B.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Sarah B doing what, mate?
I'm on the website. Where is it on here?
It'll almost certainly be on the homepage. They'll put
Everything is on. Literally everything is on the homepage.
I'm going there now. Or you could just.
Oh, there it is! Oh my god, it's a
sake.
haunted sandcastle.
It
as
is.
well.
It is. Is it a ground ghost? I didn't even see its typing.
I don't know.
Oh god.
Wow. Wow.
Let's put this up.
I like that they've
on
got
the VOD.
old Pokemon and just changed them into a slightly different version.
Oh, this pisses me off so much, by
I
the way.
love
That,
that.
Audio only people. There's a link in the description.
that fucking Exeggutor is now a fucking dragon.
I do
The palm
love-
tree got taller and became a dragon because fuck Logic and fuck Nintendo.
Are you arguing the logic of what we just described as a haunted sandcastle?
Now, let's be clear. I'm
wow. Oh, it's on the
admittedly
screen.
going
Look
to
at
attack a
that thing.
Pokemon which previously was a set of psychic eggs that evolved into a psychic palm tree, but I'm pissed off because it got taller and became a dragon.
'Cause it
But
broke
somehow
the
that's just the
rules.
straw that broke the camel's back for me.
It's
I'm not
because in
fucking having it.
In every science fiction, you can break like one rule and like to build your world, you break one rule, and this breaks another rule, and you can't accept that. So you accept
I'm not
Pokemon.
having a super tall Exeggutor that's... How is a tall palm tree a dragon? Fuck you!
Who would
Not
haunt
a dragon! A palm
sandcastle?
tree is not a dragon!
That's,
Matt,
yeah.
start a poll. Is a palm tree a dragon? Yes or no?
Yeah, I don't like it because it just muddies the waters of like what a Pokemon is and looks like and stuff. Like, I get why they're kind of doing it because they literally need to do something. They're 77 games in.
And you know what the best thing
Uranium,
about that
that's a good thing.
sandcastle is, by the way?
What?
Because the breeding mechanics are in the game, that sandcastle can fuck another sandcastle and make a baby sandcastle.
That doesn't sound like enjoyable sex. That's a lot of sand.
Yeah, that is
That's
a lot of sand. But there will be a daddy sandcastle and a mummy sandcastle, and it will make a baby sandcastle because that's how Pokemon works.
Wow. That's not pleasant to think about. Or poor Ditto.
Oh, Ditto loves it. Ditto just has sex with anything.
Oh my god, I clicked on that straw poll, and underneath it's a featured user poll, which is Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Best or worst movie ever?
Yeah.
I feel like there should be a middle ground in that poll.
Worst is winning.
Well, they're both wrong. It's not the best movie ever, because it's not Back to the Future, and it's not the worst movie ever,
It's pretty-
because
it's
it's
a
not
pretty
Back to the
mediocre
Future
movie.
3. Okay, Back to the Future 3 is amazing.
Great. Fuck
I
you.
like Back to the Future 3. Fuck it.
Fuck you. Fuck off.
Oh.
Okay, so the votes are in. Apparently, a palm tree is a dragon.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm not having this. Okay?
split the vote,
I
John.
refuse. I do not...
Look, John,
Yeah.
if this was Brexit, we'd be leaving the EU.
Hey guys, you should all vote no to piss Matt off. Let's see what happens there.
I'm not exactly invested in what the result is.
You say that, Matt, but when it turns... we'll see just how invested you really were.
I mean,
It's currently 60 to 40% right now.
I mean, listen to Matt. Matt wants yes to win. Do you want to make Matt happy? Of course you don't.
And here come the Nova.
I want to see how many people still vote yes out of spite to you two.
It doesn't look like many. That looks like just a lot of no votes coming in there. 42, 43, 44.
Also, I don't...
Come
I
on,
don't-
no! Now
I
I'm invested. Oh my god.
Also, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but also Meowth apparently in the new game is going to be Super Camp Meowth.
Yeah, and Vulpix is like blue now for some reason.
It's an ice type. I'll give them the new Marowak with the flaming bone is pretty cool. That's the only one I'm willing to accept.
Yeah, the rest can fuck off forever.
But the Sandcastle can fuck right off. The fact there is now a Sandcastle Pokemon to join the Candy Floss Pokemon, the Ice Cream Cone Pokemon, the Set of Keys Pokemon, and the Cogs on a Wall Pokemon. All of
Set
them.
of keys Pokemon.
That is completely.
46% to 54%. Come on, no votes. 47%.
Ooh, I've got some other gaming news.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know we were doing gaming news. I've got tons of that if we want to talk about games.
I've got some other gaming
Shit, yeah,
stuff.
I got game
right?
stuff.
I got followed by Best Fiends on Twitter, and I feel dirty.
I think you should
what's
do a
Best
sponsored
Fiends?
video with them, Matt.
What's Best Fiends?
Okay, John, these are my 5 top favourite mobile games. The reason Best Fiends is here is because it's my favourite game, not
What's
because
Best
they paid
Fiends?
me.
What's Best Fiends?
Are you joking?
No.
I've no fucking clue. I know it's a mobile
Okay,
game. I
it's a
assume it's
mobile
about
game that
matching
every
colours.
It's a mobile game that every YouTuber in the mum has done a fucking sponsored video on.
Oh, Google the fucking.
I mean, I'm assuming you match colours.
Emma, Wheezy, Wait, fuck it, like everyone.
Do you have to
every-
match
every
4
point
colours
for it.
together?
Oh,
Is
they're
that what
paying
you
out-
do?
It's a match 4, basically. It's match 3.
Oh, that piece of shit. Oh, they were the ones with.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're probably like a 15 grand offer. Fuck that noise. Sorry, am I not supposed to say the numbers? That I don't know if they've actually genuinely offered. They're the sort of ones that offer the top tier for my videos, which is about $15,000.
Well, they've offered it to fucking everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's been taking it, so clearly
If
they're offering a
everyone's been
decent amount.
taking it, they might have pushed it up to 20,000. Thanks for upping me, guys.
Yeah, fucking
I will say, like, did you see that Humble is looking at doing a partnership?
with what?
As in effectively doing, like, affiliates with YouTubers. Except the system they're going to do is they're only doing it if, like, it's 100% transparent. Like, they insist their logo and, like, you know, sponsored by and whatever is actually in, like, the thumbnail and stuff.
I used
And
to have a Humble store.
the interesting thing is... No, it's not the... I don't think it's the store. I think it's the bundles. And it will basically be in the same way that you can use the sliders for how much you want to give to charity versus Humble versus whatever.
Do we have a Nerd
You can
Cube
actually
bundle?
choose how much you want to give to the YouTuber if they directed you to them. Which I actually
didn't
quite...
have that.
I quite like that as a system because then it's not only total transparency, people can choose how much, if anything, the person who pushed them there makes. I quite like that as a system.
Yeah.
That seems very fair and open and transparent to me.
Yeah, but they're very fair, nice, transparent people.
Like, if I would ever do anything that was like an affiliate link or whatever, I would consider doing that because I genuinely do almost always buy the bare minimum, the $1 tier. And often the average or above tier for pretty much every Humble bundle going. And the bare, I don't think I've ever had one where I haven't bought the $1 tier.
I mean, I can stop buying them ages ago because I've got all of them.
Because like even if I only need like one game, I just give the other 2 away.
Okay,
So
I mean, yeah, the price you pay for even like if there's a bundle of 7 games.
just
and
like, you know,
two of them.
$1 for one game that I might want, and I can just say, you know what, most of this can go to charity. It's like, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't I do this?
I mean, I'm a fan of buying those really shit simulator bundles off Bundle Stars.
oh, I love buying utter shit off bundle stars. They
Dan,
don't have
I've
a
never heard
single
of that, you know.
fucking good game. It's all
When-
shit that I'll
when
never
I first
play.
mentioned Bundle
But I
Stars
love buying
to
it.
Dan had never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Somehow.
I've actually talked to them something. They actually wanted to sign me up as an affiliate. It's like, no, I don't want to. But I love
50-50! No, it's winning! Yes!
Yes! We're number 1. Palm trees
We're
are
number one.
dragons. We're number 1. Palm trees are trees.
I mean, you
We
see,
finally got rid of this bullshit
See,
that palm
the-
trees are dragons, and we can get back to the good common sense that we had before, which is palm trees are psychics.
Yes,
the
palm trees are
interesting
clearly
thing here
psychic.
is
Wait,
now,
that makes that.
that vote now officially is Brexit.
Why, because it changed after I tweeted about it.
You tweeted. Oh, that's why all those extra votes came in. I was like, why did all these influx of votes come in?
Actually, I've decided I don't care about this because, yeah, I have just realised that a palm tree being a dragon doesn't make any less sense
li-
than a palm tree being a psychic.
John, I
I
fought
like-
for you! No, that's
like-
what you do.
I like, Dan, that you broke your Twitter silence to fucking do
That wasn't my
that.
Twitter silence, that was a standard do a thing. That's a call to action post. Like, here's a video and we're live now.
Ooh, get
doesn't
Captain
count.
Call to Action here.
Captain SEO of the
Yeah, I want to talk
Starship
about your CPMs and your click-through rates.
I don't want to talk about
Fucking
my
audience
fucking
retention.
I don't want to talk about my CPMs during the summer holiday.
No YouTuber wants to talk
Oh
about
my
CPMs.
god! Like literally, right? There are 2 points in the year where YouTubers go, "Oh, thank God, I am going to make money this year," and that's summer and Christmas.
Yeah.
Because at those times you make enough money to get through the really terrible CPMs of the early year, like January through now to fucking April, May. This summer, like, not a raise, not a fucking drop. And I'm like, well, if Christmas doesn't go up, this company shuts down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
but
have to-
Sterling's
I'm gonna have
collapsed.
to-
It's all about Sterling collapsing continuously for the next 2 years until we're at parity with the dollar.
Hooray! I'm gonna have to start doing. What was that game called? I don't even know it.
Best fiends.
Best fit. Yeah, I got after to do best fiends videos. I'll be there like, it's the best game ever. I
It's
should
the
do
best.
that. I should just.
Please,
If that happens,
just,
right?
just click on the link below. Rebecca needs more sums.
My complete series will just be like anybody that offers me money. I just completes my jaunt to self-worthlessness.
See, I was like those Best Fiends sponsored videos because clearly the way that the advertising company tell them to do it is like, okay, make it look like a normal video and kind of hide it inside the video. So it's like, oh, these are my top favorite like 5 video game facts, and they sort of like drop it in as one of their video game facts, or like here are my top 5 favorite mobile
Best
apps.
Fiends is a good game and you should play it as a video game fact.
Apparently,
That's a shit
according to
fact.
Weezy Waiter, it is.
That's a really shit fact.
And like you see like other YouTubers that is like, oh, here are my top 5 mobile apps. It's like you get to number 4, it's like, yeah, I really love Best Fiends. Like I loved it anyway, even before they paid me. Obviously, I mean, why would I say I love it because they paid me? That'd be ridiculous, you know.
Yeah.
Download Best Fiends. Don't
Fact number 5: palm trees are actually dragons.
No. We just fought. John, we just fought this.
I'm sorry, I've had my Boris Johnson moment. I've just switched sides dramatically.
John,
Yes.
Bastard.
you have gaming news. Go.
What? Super Hot is getting a sequel. Unfortunately, it's a card game.
I do like that. That was an interesting reaction. Can we focus on the action? Because I really like Super Hot, and I think Matt really likes Super Hot, but they fucked over Vive users, so we've both just gone, no.
Well, no, because it's not even just because like they fucked over Vive users. Like I went, because like historically, good little simple games like that getting sequels, always the sequels are never as good as the original.
Well, luckily, this is going to be a bit of an unusual sequel because it's a card game, and they're not saying how it's working yet, but that is an interesting place to take the only move when you move shooty action genre into physical paper cards.
Hang on, what's the developer of Super Hot again? Hang on.
Oh shit, what were they called? Balls, I looked this up. Then I forgot.
64% no right now, guys.
Super Hot
Star
Team.
power.
Super Hot Team, I think is what they're called. Team. Yeah, apparently that's what they're actually
Wait,
called.
someone just said palm trees grow dragon fruit. Is that true? Do they do that?
Oh my
Okay, basically.
God.
What?
Right.
I guess
Do
it's
they?
the side of the pole.
What? Where does dragon? Hang on.
basically-
Where does dragon fruit come from? I need to fucking know this.
Okay, basically, fuck Super Hot Team. Okay, good.
Yeah, but where does it come from?
Wait, is Super Hot out on PS4?
Oh,
Where
fucking
does
hell. What do you
it
think
come
I am?
from?
A fucking player bone.
Because it, Oh, I don't think it is.
You lied to me. It's a typical cactus flower thing on a flipping ornamental plant on a
Here's-
vine.
here's
You
an interesting
fuckers!
thing
Dragon
about Super
fruit
Hot.
doesn't come. Vote no. Vote no. Wait, is no for yes? Vote no.
Yes, vote no. Well done. That's
You know
a
the
clear
way,
message.
right, that...
Second
Super
Amendment
Hot-
people should vote no when it turns
Vote
yes.
leave. Vote leave for the dragon type of executor, Alola.
No, right, you know the way that Super Hot
Everyone's
got paid
shouting
off by
Gwen.
Oculus?
Which one of you two is Gwen?
God.
Oh wait, that's that Witcher thing. I still didn't say it out loud. I didn't say it out loud in my head. I didn't know what it was. When I said it out loud, I was like, oh, it's that thing. Okay.
Oh, is Gwent the thing in Witcher that makes it socially acceptable for you to walk into a bar and just put basically a collection of naked postcards of women you've shagged on a table?
Yes.
Huh. That is a interesting thing.
Fun
Anyway.
fact, that's also a social sort of thing you can do in Bristol. That's a real fact, that is. If you're in Bristol, just lay down just your conquests on a table, and then they'll lay down theirs, and then there'll be rules that will come up during the thing. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Good way of learning it, yeah.
Yeah. And in the Isle of Wight, they don't like Best Fiends because they're wrong, but everyone else likes Best Fiends. It's actually one of my favourite games. That's a third fact.
What's
right
Best
now.
Fiends? Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that thing
Best-
we were talking about. Jesus,
Yeah.
shit.
Okay, look.
I've been
right,
up
you know
since 5 a.m., right? Can we just... I get up at 5 a.m.
Look, Matt's
now.
been up since 6 p.m., alright? He's got you
Yeah,
trumped
fuck
here.
6 p.m. yesterday, to clarify.
Really? Why would you want to clarify that? You're not some sort of stock. You're not
Well, no,
some
'cause
sort
if
of
I-
jus.
I mean, if I've been up for like 6 hours,
I'm
that's
really
not really
hungry.
that-
I want more cake.
Look, fuck
I
you.
want cake.
You know the way
Oh,
Super
I'm
Hot-
sorry, have you not had enough cake?
No,
Was the
I've
cake
only
not
eaten
enough
about
for
4,
you?
Well, no, there's
Okay,
more
listen,
cake. It's a
fucking
big cake.
shut your mouths. Shut your mouths and
Shut
listen
my
to me.
mouth. How will the
I'm-
words come
I'm-
out?
I may as well, there's no cake
Look,
to put in it.
You know the way Super Hot got paid off by Oculus to be Oculus exclusive? It seems that Microsoft have also paid it for it to be Xbox One console exclusive. It doesn't seem to be coming to PS4.
Nice. That's always fun.
Super Hot is currently on track for global release for PC, Mac, Linux, and Xbox One
Ah, Linux.
in Q1 2016. So, missed out a bit, didn't they?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. In other news, rumours continue to circulate of StarCraft Brood War getting StarCraft Brood War getting an HD remaster, which will be a fantastic news because StarCraft Brood War has a vastly better campaign than anything that was ever in StarCraft 2. It was genuinely brilliant.
Never played StarCraft. Never really got into it. I much prefer the slower, basey building kind of real-time strategies.
It's like the only real problem with the original was it had a couple of big technical limitations. If you actually remade it with the simplified, more lower level player friendly mechanics of the new game, I think it would be a lot more accessible. But it's a genuinely brilliant story. I think it's some of Blizzard's best ever storytelling is in Brood War. The story of Sarah Kerrigan's fantastic. Until they ruined it at the end of Legacy of the Void, but let's pretend that didn't happen.
I have to look up what fucking games Blizzard made now so I can disagree violently with you to make it an entertaining podcast.
Diablo.
Oh yeah, shit, I've been playing that for the first time ever. I'm actually playing a Diablo right now.
Which one?
3, the best one, because it's got the highest number in it. On PS4. I'm playing it with Rebecca while we eat cake. It's very fun. Well, it's not very fun, but I've got a massive laser beam, so it's great fun. I love my laser beam. It's seriously, it's like, I'm playing it, I'm like...
conflicting statements in the space.
I was like, I'm playing it, I'm like, this isn't a game I'm particularly enjoying, but I really fucking enjoy firing this laser beam off and spinning around in circles, so I'm still in this for now. It's amazing, if you just let me fire a laser beam, I'll probably like your game. That's a fact for you.
That's perfectly fair.
That's all I need, is just to be able to fire a massive laser beam. Oh wow, they do not make games that I like. Look at that. Well, that is just a big list of games I don't give a shit about.
Warcraft 3 has a fun story, I'll give it that much, but I think that StarCraft and StarCraft Brood War have some of the best storytelling that they've ever done. Brilliant stories.
Ugh. Wow, that's just horrible. That's the list of games that are popular that I don't really get. I quite like Diablo 3. That was my thing that I'm saying.
If you're sad that you don't get Supot, by the way, next week on PS4, you get Fahrenheit, or Indigo Prophecy, depending on what territory you're in.
Nobody cares.
So you can actually see a digital David Cage address you directly, breaking the fourth wall before the game begins.
Wait, does he do that?
Yeah, that's the tutorial.
That is actually how Fahrenheit or Indigo Prophecy begins. David Cage actually stands up from his little director's chair and talks to you about the game for a minute before it gets to begin, because that's the most exciting opening they could come up with.
It's horrible.
Because David Cage is some sort of... David Cage is the one man with the ego large enough to take on Donald Trump.
David Cage is Peter Molyneux if Peter Molyneux got one really good review in his career. That's the thing, because Peter Molyneux just adds to if he had... and sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. I said Peter Molyneux, but if any
nice segue there.
Thank you. Yeah, because Peter Molyneux's games they were quite liked, especially when he was with Bullfrog. But as he was I'm Peter Molyneux and this is my show, his game's kind of shit. But if anyone ever got a massively fantastically good review, that's the sort of level he'd get up to. Is David Cage level. But David Cage hasn't had those reviews. He just thinks he has. Who still plays his games? Who gives a shit? No one gives a shit. We should move on. I'm now sad because I'm thinking about David Cage.
Don't think about David Cage.
Ugh.
Stop it.
Hey, let's talk about a game you twats like. Apparently there's 3 seasons of Hitman episodes planned.
Yeah, two whole seasons of DLC, which I'm not sure how that works. Because if it's just DLC, why is it arranged in seasons? Why not just keep releasing DLC?
This is the question I had, because I read that sentence and went, I have no fucking clue what's going on with that game anymore. I didn't know it was doing episodes and seasons.
The problem with these seasons, right, is because, they have to call them second seasons. Because if they sell a season pass, if they want to make more, they have to consider it a second season, so it's a different season pass. Because otherwise, it counts as the first season pass, so they have to say it's a second season.
Yeah, but they've specifically said it's DLC, not a new season, which is also.
We just said it was a new season. We just established it was a new season.
Yeah, but they've called it DLC on Twitter.
Well,
they were asked about DLC, and they were talking about
DLC,
second and third waves.
I mean, the current season is DLC. All of it's DLC. I mean, honestly, right? You can look at it and go, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably just more levels.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's the thing is when it's done in the new Hitman engine and the new Hitman game, once it's all done, if we're assuming it's going to be 6 areas per DLC season, we're going to end up with 18 levels of roughly the size and complexity that we've had so far, which will make it easily the biggest Hitman game ever, and almost certainly, to my mind, the best, given I'm already kind of thinking it's knocking on Blood Money's door. The problem is, it's going to, all things done, cost about 4 times as much as Blood Money did at launch.
We say this, but at the same time, it will be much bigger than Blood Money. And also, a lot of people have been saying for years about the idea of buying the content you want, and not buying the content you don't want. And the idea with this is that you can. Like,
No, you can't. If you've just bought the intro pack to an individual part of Hitman, I think it's actually quite difficult to buy an individual episode without buying the previous episodes. If you've just bought the intro pack and you want to go on to buy just Marrakesh, but not anything else, try doing that, because I'm not even sure you can.
Well, yeah, it's available as a separate product. You can put Marrakesh on its own, and you can't.
Can you do that? I didn't even realise you could.
You can. They're all separate products. And this is the thing, because you can look at it going, oh, I hate DLC, I hate DLC. But on the other hand, it's nice being able to just pick and choose what you want to buy, and rather than have to buy the whole thing, going, oh, you know what, I don't want the Marrakesh level.
But it's a bit difficult to do in Hitman, because all of the funnest toys get unlocked through doing levels, but you've no idea when you buy a level what the toy that's going to be unlocked is. Like, the unlocks from Marrakesh were all shit, and basically duplicates of stuff you could already have. Whereas at some point, they're going to unlock, say, the rifle case, and that's going to make a big, huge difference. Or they're going to unlock a super powerful bolt-action sniper rifle that's actually silenced, or they're going to unlock double silver ballers. And whichever episode those are attached to, you're going to want, because those are the actual important upgrades. And right now, like, some levels, and you've no idea when you're buying a level if you're just kind of wanting to have things. Also, it's interesting that it's mixed. The reviews are very not good, really.
Yeah.
Mixed for recent and for overall, which I think is actually a bit harsh, to be honest, because I've genuinely been enjoying it a lot.
Hitman.
Sales model is a joke, bought the episode.
Yeah, I gave
bought the
up
episodes
on that.
one by one, got discriminated by the company. Fucked over buying it episodically, has all the episodes, doesn't have full experience, can't be. Alright, you don't get the bonus episodes if you haven't bought the season.
Oh, the summer ones.
Yeah, but no,
Yeah,
they
that's a bit poor.
I want to point out, they say that, but the codes I get for it, I don't have the season pass for it, I get the codes of the individual DLC packs, and I didn't get a code for the summer season. The only code, I've had 3 codes, one for the intro pack, one for episode 2, and one for episode 3, so I have the same products as them, so I don't know why they can't access it.
Yeah, I had season pass all along, so I had the summer. I mean, I've been enjoying the elusive as well, though people who buy it later on console won't get that. Though I'll admit the broker is blatantly broken. It's a terrible one, and basically, like, anyone who succeeds in that is just clearly a twat, and the best people would lose that mission because of how bad it is.
Fuck you, John. You know what? I spent ages trying to do that Silent Assassin. You criticised me, and you fucking failed.
Yeah, because you spent 3 hours doing one mission that can be done in 30 seconds.
You died.
Yeah, because I decided I didn't want to waste several years of my life doing one mission.
Says the man who spends 3 hours doing Fallout fucking permadeath. No fucking kill. You only live once, twat, fuck it, twat, fuck
You
off.
only live once, twat. Good. That's alright. I totally zoned down for a second. I was just thinking about cake. And then I just hear, you only live once, twat. I was like, wow, John McClane has stepped down a few things. Does Hitman still have that shitty always online DRM bullshit?
Kinda.
Kind of, but they have fixed it a little bit.
Can it kick me out of the game just randomly? Because
It won't kick you out of the game
No,
anymore.
it just pauses the game.
It doesn't pause the game. No, you can still
Oh, it
play
used
it.
to, because they fixed it a bit better now.
Yeah, you can keep playing, but it doesn't kick you out. Like, it won't save properly until you're reconnected.
Yeah.
It's not best, but, you know, whatever. It's better than it was.
Yeah.
I'm always online. I mean, it's a problem, and, like, it shouldn't be, but most people are always online anyway now, so it's less of a problem, but it still shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing. But it's probably as little intrusive as it can be at the minute.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could not be there at all.
Aside from not being there,
Yeah.
it's like, in terms of like a shark in your bathtub, this is really a catfish at this point.
Why would you want to... You know, I'm not going to question
Weird
it.
analogy.
Yeah, I haven't bothered with it because it's not done yet. When it's done, I'll play it. Not a big fan of early access.
I mean, to me, it's not even early access. It's like a Telltale game.
Except without any particular story or choices or anything.
Yeah,
because the overarching narrative has actually been quite weak, to be honest.
Well, yeah, because it's like a Telltale game in that, like, you're not... The core game mechanics, like, on early access, like, the core game is not early access, but you're just buying the levels.
I mean,
That's
next to,
what it
like,
is.
next to the escalating sense of desperation and things going wrong that permeated each kind of ongoing level in Blood Money, it's very poor in terms of its overarching world-building storytelling.
Squeak. Stop squeezing breasts, Daniel. No, it is, but like the levels are so. I know, Dan, you don't like that. You just like going one or the other.
Yeah, I like to play a game and then be done with it, as I've established today. I don't like going, oh, let's have a taste of it. It's like a buffet that you can only go to once a week. That's what I feel. It's like, oh, I'm gonna have to try these, and then you have to come back a week later. Oh, I'm gonna try these.
I know what you mean, yeah. But the levels are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely well put together.
Yeah. And in the most important news this week, after 6 fantastic entries, each better than the last, the Resident Evil film franchise is finally coming to a close. They have released the trailer for the final Resident Evil film.
Wow.
Yes.
I thought that was just a single film.
No, there was Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil something, Resident Evil something else. Resident Evil, I think, Revival or Resurrection was in there somewhere, and now this is Resident Evil, the last one or something. There's been 6.
The last one.
It's had, like, pretty much every character that's been in the entire franchise, sometimes several times. They've garbled literally everything. It bears absolutely no relation to the games whatsoever.
Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Extinction, Resident
that was
Evil
one in the
Afterlife,
desert, yeah.
Resident Evil Retribution, and then Resident Evil The Final Chapter.
Yes. Where they're going back to Raccoon City.
Scale up, and then that what do we call it now? Resident Evil Apocalypse, Extinction, Afterlife, Retribution?
Well, they'd come back to life already. They didn't need to come back to life again, did they?
Is it just like one character from Resident Evil, or is it just like every episode?
It's literally all of them, but the main character is Alice, a made-up character who's never been in any of the games.
Oh, that's good. Then you don't get the confusion with that incredibly well-written story that is the.
But every other character has basically made an appearance. Like sometimes, like
Lord
characters.
Salazar was in it. Fuck, I'd play that if he was just play that. Watch
He
that.
probably was. They kind of ripped off all Resident Evil 4 during, I think, Afterlife. They did all of the Resident Evil 4 bits because the Ganados showed up and stuff. So I think that if Salazar
Oh my god!
was there,
I clicked Afterlife to read the plot of Wikipedia, and the first 3 words are the Alice clones.
Yes. You see, at one point she gets a whole bunch of superpowered clones, but then they all die conveniently, so they're not there anymore. And sometimes she has superpowers, but sometimes she doesn't, because there's a magic thing that she gets injected with that either gives her or takes away superpowers. Also, she may or may not be a robot, because sometimes she does little wibbly robot things with her eyes.
Please stop.
But they've added zombie dragons into this last one. If you watch the trailer, they've added zombie dragons. Because they've just decided, if we're going to end this, fuck it. We're going to end this on the most ridiculous note possible. So they've brought dead characters back to life to be the villains, including ones who were just, like, canonically killed on screen. They're just back. Screw it. And zombie dragons are in it. And they're back in Raccoon City for no well-explained reason, even though it was nukes and everyone's dead. It's going to be amazing.
You're very negative, John.
Sounds like the worst thing.
If this is on a cinema near me, I will go and see this in cinema to celebrate the end of this magnificent franchise. Because this has just been so much fun. Oh, there's laser. There's lasers she has to dive through in the trailer, because that was in the first one.
Well, you know what?
So
I'll see it
different.
and I'll let you all know on the podcast if it's shit.
When's it coming out? Is it soon?
Probably not. I only just saw like a first proper trailer. Probably quite a long time.
January 27th, 2017.
But basically, it's going to be, and hopefully they'll bring back Michelle Rodriguez and they'll kind of come up with a reason why she needs to snog Milla Jovovich. Because that sounds like the thing they do.
Okay, good. So, fuck it. I'm not going to question it.
It makes more sense
Oh,
than
shit,
Panzermädels does, alright? It makes way more sense than Panzermädels.
Good. What the fuck's he talking about, man?
The tank dating simulator.
We got about 10 minutes left, so we got to wrap up now.
Okay, right. I've got a few things I want to talk about.
Go!
I played that Overcooked game.
Okay.
It's really fucking good. There'll be a video on that soon. But it's really, if you want like a couch co-op game where you'll realise why Gordon Ramsay swears so much, I recommend Overcooked. It's really, it's a really good like set of balance. Like every time you play a level, you don't 3-star it, but you learn enough to 3-star it the second time you play the level, which I think is perfect difficulty. And I think it's very good fun, and I want to play 4 players. You can play 4 players on 2 controllers, and that just seems like endless fun.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's a very good game if you want a bit of couch co-op. It's not very good single player, but for couch copy, it's very good. Rocket League is getting another expansion majig with weird, silly weapons and stuff as a different game mode where you can fire out comedy Fucking stop speaking. You can fire out comedy gloves. You like boxing gloves on things, and like basically it gets a bit Mario Kart, which seems kind of fun. But then again, if the weapons are anything like the ball, I won't hit with them half the time. Not 3/4 of the time. 8/10 of the time. That's 4/5. What else do we have on the news? New PS4 is going to be announced on September 7th. They're doing a big talk and majig on September 7th, so I assume that's what that's going to be. Matt's got the T-virus.
Some beautiful Super NES Disney games are coming to good old games.
Oh, yeah. We had
Aladdin, The Lion King, and The Jungle Book, but not Mickey Mania because God is dead. Fuck, Mickey Mania was like the only good Disney platform I genuinely liked. Lion King people just remember because it was so hard that no one could ever complete it when they were a kid. It wasn't actually that good. Mickey Mania was genuinely...
I've told that story on this podcast of why that's so hard, that opening section, or the giraffe section.
Sorry. Wait, what the fuck?
Oh.
Sorry, no. Oh, never mind. That was weird. Sorry, go on. I went on Good Old Games. It had the No Man's Sky price in as $39, and I went, well, why the fuck is it so much cheaper? It turns out the dollar sign, which is meant to be £1.
You haven't seen the latest news from Sterling, have you, Matt? It's not good news.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, Jim Sterling now controls all our currency.
I'm fine with that, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely an issue for some reason. Yeah, the Lion King's really hard because people used to rent games a lot back in the day, and you had to complete a certain amount of the game in a certain amount of time. And if the games were too short, they had to massively increase the difficulty of some bits, so random failure and stuff. That's why older games were harder because of renting.
Yeah, but the Mickey Mania was genuinely the good one. It's the one they haven't done because fuck everyone.
I like Aladdin. I think Aladdin's very good.
Aladdin's actually alright. Aladdin's probably the best of the 3 in terms of actual gameplay quality.
They're a bit expensive on Good Old Games, though, which I thought was a bit off. Mm-hmm. They're like £11 or something.
People will pay. That nostalgia, you can get away with it. The nostalgia crowd will pay good damn money for this.
Yes, we will. Final bit of news, and this is a sad bit of news. We've lost something very important in the game industry that didn't get any... credit. I didn't see it get mentioned anywhere, but something very important, and I think a big cornerstone of the gaming as an industry has died. Mm-hmm. It's that we didn't get a game for the current sporting event that's going on in Rio that we can't mention the name of for legal reasons.
Yeah.
Is there not a Mario versus Sonic? There normally is.
There is a Mario versus Sonic, but I meant like a proper actual one.
There's a skin pack for Overwatch.
Yeah, but that's not like, I mean, because we had London 2012 at the sporting event in London in 2012 that we can't mention the name of for legal reasons.
I mean, it's probably that the city in South America spent all the money on slave labor, and they didn't have enough money to bother. I imagine it was that the game developers was like, okay, can we see the stadium? And it's not ready yet. And they kept saying that until the no.
Oh no! Shit! Run! Bobbies will be after us. Matt nearly said the word we're not allowed to say because people will think we're advertising with it. And
international sporting event opened. So I imagine
Vega. It's just sports day. Big countrywide sports day.
Okay, so South American Sports Day.
Yeah, South American Sports Day.
Yeah, so, yeah.
The NerdCube Podcast is a proud sponsor of Rio 2016.
No, don't say those things! Jesus, fuck! Genuinely, a fair few YouTubers have got notices that were like, don't tweet the hashtag, they're copyrighted it, and if they think you're advertising with it, they will sue your dick
No,
off.
legitimately, apparently they've said brands cannot use any of the hashtags, which the hashtags include the hashtag Team USA, which is literally trademarked by them. Apparently they trademarked fucking Team USA, and Trump tweeted that, so you know it was good.
Yeah, but Trump threatens death on his opponents, so you know he can do whatever the fuck he wants at the moment.
But so there was that, and then like it was like, ooh, don't retweet any Olympic accounts.
Just say the word.
Don't retweet the Olympic accounts.
Yeah, don't retweet any of the official accounts.
Well, why do they have Twitter accounts then?
Brands can't do it.
Brands can't do it.
Yeah, and then don't mention the results.
Am I a brand?
Yes, your Twitter is a brand.
Is it?
Yeah,
How do you
your
know
Twitter-
when you're a brand?
Well, your Twitter is Many a True Nerd.
Yeah.
It is representing your company,
And that is a
representing
company,
you as a
yes.
business, and that's what it is representing.
Huh.
Dan is a account.
Is there a test you can like do? Like you go to the doctor and ask for a test to figure out whether you're a brand or not?
See, Dan would be counted as a brand because he's verified.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But is the Twitter handle not Dan? Is it not Dan, or rather than
It's Dan the Q, but still,
It's still the official one of the company, Ting.
Yeah. It's the one linked on the website.
Oh god, what if it's your name, but that you work for a company is listed in the description?
Yeah, explode. You just explode on the spot due to
Yeah,
bureaucracy.
it's a bit of a mess, really.
'Cause,
Being
like-
very overly protective about it.
Yeah, so
brain
say
aneurysm
Amy.
died.
Amy's account is her own account, and it's Amy's account, but it mentions who she works for in the
Well, no,
description.
I don't think that would be bad because that's not a corporate.
No, that's a
an
personal
employee.
person. But yeah, I don't fucking know.
An account representing a company. So Dan's account would represent Nerky, your account would represent
Do
me.
you think that the people who went, hey, let's have the sporting event that we can't mention the name of over in this place where it's really like sewagey and the water's gone green today?
That's
You can't
algae,
mention-
not sewage. They've confirmed it's definitely not sewage.
It's weird there's algae though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, when
there
you have
shouldn't
to
be
confirm-
algae in an Olympic pool.
Yeah, when you have to confirm that something isn't sewage, you're probably not the best place to be hosting such a grand sports day.
No.
Yeah, that's going on right now, and who gives a fuck, to be perfectly honest. But there's no game for it, and that makes me sad. That's been a cornerstone since the fucking NES. Possibly even earlier. I don't actually know when the first one was. I used to play the old one on the Sega Mega Drive a fair bit. I mean, last year, like 2012 was terrible. Maybe call someone a gibbon, but that was...
It was good looking.
Oh,
at
it was
least.
beautiful looking, yeah.
Graphically wise, it was nice, but about it.
It was relentlessly horrible and horrific. Would really fit. But yeah, there's just the Sonic one, which is really weird because it's Sega. Because I thought maybe it's a rights issue, but Sega make the games for the Grand Sports Day, and they're definitely involved in the Sonic one.
You know, I legitimately think it might be like they just couldn't make the arenas. Like they just couldn't get access. They finished them so late. I legitimately think that.
Possibly just not done yet. Yep.
Because think about it, like the was just like, can we come look at the arenas? Like they're not done yet. When? Man, no, they'll be done soon. When soon? It's opening in like 5 days. That's the opening ceremony. Well,
Quick, fire the
whatever.
security stuff.
Okay, yeah, we have another couple of minutes, so wrap up now.
Okay,
Any
wrap up
other
warm,
quick fire
guys.
ones?
Wrap up warm. Right, quick fire. I'm going to check out what the most recent piece of news is on the internet.
John, do you have anything?
No Man's Sky streamer finally finds the last species on a planet in one perfect moment. Thanks, Polygon. That's news.
The Bunker is bringing back flipping live action recorded kind of video games. I think is kind of cool that it's nice to see them back after so many years.
FMV games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they died for a reason. That's because they were universally shit.
Yeah, but it could be a really fun train crash to watch, so I'm going to look out for the Bunker. I think it could be interesting. It's always fun to watch a train crash up front if you can see it coming. Get yourself a nice seat with an umbrella and some lemonade.
Yeah,
Yep.
and some sort of bullet shield for all the metal shards.
Mm-hmm.
For all those. Ow.
Thanks for your contribution there, Matt. That was...
Imagining pain.
And obviously, bit of a busy rest of August, really. Obviously, Nuka World is next week, as is Hitman Episode 4 in
Wait,
Thailand.
was next week.
Yeah, that's what I heard. 19th.
What? I didn't think it was that soon.
Ooh, that's good.
That's what I've been seeing it listed as.
Well, fuck me, right? Okay.
I think it's next Tuesday, same day as Hitman 4, and then a week after that, Deus Ex.
Oh well, tip my blanket.
Oh, who gives a fuck about Deus Ex? That's the day that Grow Up comes out.
It's
Wait,
going to
what
be a
the
busy second half of August.
What the
Always
fuck?
is.
I didn't know all this shit was coming out. Fuck me.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's next Tuesday's Nuka World. Let's see if we've got anything to find an
I
actual
thought
confirmed
August was
date.
dead. I thought everything was coming out in September.
Oh god, no, it's definitely August. It was always August. But I'm pretty sure it's imminently.
Fair enough. Oh, I'm impressed. There we go. Cool. Nice.
Admittedly, I am just seeing a lot of mentions just of August, but I've seen, like, I think on, like, the Steam release, it's listed as August 19th.
I'll put money on it being 26th because the other one came out at the end of the month.
Am I saying 19th? I'm saying the right date. Whichever one next Tuesday is, whatever date next Tuesday is.
Well, next Tuesday would be. Hang on.
It was at the 15th or the 16th or something.
That would be the 16th.
Nuka
16th.
World, on Steam, it's just listed as August.
Yeah, I'd say 26th.
I really
is
hope so.
Friday.
Oh god, no! Don't make it crash with Deus Ex. That's even worse.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
it's gonna happen.
it can't crash with Deus Ex. That's not fair.
Someone says, "Dan, please complete Grow Up." I'll never grow up. Oh, you mean the game? Sure, I'm definitely
That's a
gonna
good joke.
complete Grow Up, and I might make a video on it too if you're lucky.
How did you really enjoy the late game of Grow Home that much? I found it was a bit boring when it was just collecting the final few seeds after you collected like the first few and you got back to the spaceship.
I was fueled by the anger of not being able to find the last one.
Yeah,
fair
I
long
found it
time.
really, I found it a bit annoying to be honest, searching around for the last few. So I never actually completed Grow
I liked
Home.
it because it made me realize just how much the levels were sort of built to actually comb every section and separate. Every level bit was like divided off into chunks, so you could actually scan like every little tiny section of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew it was just like one of the little floating chunks out there, so I could fly between them and stuff, and get the last little bits. Which
I
thought was
really
quite
hope
handy, though.
Nuka World comes out next week, actually, as I thought it would, because if it doesn't, I don't actually have any videos ready for next week. I just kind of set the week aside saying, fuck it, that'll be Nuka World week.
Well, I've got
Did you ever?
my plan for this week on the Saturday. I've got Saturday No Man's Sky, and then it's crossed out, and underneath I've just written fuck.
Yeah, I've got Friday and Saturday just kind of like, No Man's Sky, question mark? And if it doesn't show up, fuck it, I don't know. Something
Yeah,
else.
take the sky
John,
from
did you ever play San Andreas, John?
Huh?
Did you ever play San Andreas?
No, but I did recently download it.
Disappointed in you.
Well done.
What? Where do you think I'm going to fit it in right now?
In the week that you have nothing in.
Fit it in
Well-
your ass.
I can't do it in a single week.
Can you?
It's a big game. I'd need to like set aside weeks and weeks. It would be like a Saturday series that would run for
Oh,
months.
you want to complete it? Oh.
Well, complete at least the main story. Not
That's fair.
100%
I mean,
it.
it's a very long game.
Exactly. That's why I'm not going to try and do it. Actually, I
Ba-dum,
could do The Witcher finally. I could finally do the bloody Witcher. Maybe I'll just play Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympics and I'll put hashtag Rio16 in the video title and see how long it stays up.
Oh my god. So, new Pokemon have leaked for
Oh,
Pokemon
fuck.
Sun and Moon, including
No.
one that is an anus with
No.
some purple spikes on it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'll link it in the live streaming thing so you can see it. And apparently a different Raichu.
I'll put it in the description of if you're listening audio only. Just assume that if you're listening audio only and we reference a picture, that like
Raichu's
I'll
got a
put it in the description.
suntan. This says it's a rumor thing, but who cares? I like the anus with the things on.
Raichu became psychic, and then there's a blob.
It's an
Then
anus.
that is just that. That actually, you're right. That is actually an anus with some pink.
I hope that's not
with some
real.
pink-
It's a pink
things.
caution with an anus as well.
I like more lol.
That is some suspiciously phallic pink things sticking out of an anus.
Yeah.
Nintendo, what the fuck are you doing? For fuck's sake, what even is it supposed to be based on?
They don't have anything to base them on anymore because they just ran out.
They've run out of everything.
They ran out of sandcastles. Do you reckon they're playing No Man's Sky right now, going, we'll have that, and that, and that?
There's going to be one kind of cynicalization. You know what? Fuck it. You know what? Maybe we'll just make a Pokemon out of a bag of rubbish. How would that be? Sir, we did that in the 5th generation already. It was called Trubbish, sir.
Fuck it, I'm going home. Someone get my keys. Wait a minute. No, done that. Fuck. Somebody called my wife. Alright, I'll get her. Jinx. Yeah, he's coming home. He's coming home. He's coming home. There's an anus on the screen right now.
Actually, this is worth to mention as well. Pokemon Go is completely faded out.
Well, of course it has. It's exactly what I said it would do. It wasn't good enough and it's broken. I mean, they're patching it and shit, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, but like
It
a lot of
made
people
8
delete-
times more money than Candy Crush did in its first month.
Yeah.
The problem is though, that's pretty much all money it'll make.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
Candy Crush is still making about.
I haven't played it in a week and a half.
well, that's the
2
thing. Is
weeks.
it was exactly what I said it was. It was an interesting, novel concept with no gameplay whatsoever, and so people are going to go away from it.
Yeah.
It's
Pretty
a lot
much.
of cheating apparently. Like people are just finding gyms with just these like ridiculously over high level things.
Oh yeah, I saw like level 25 to 30 Dragonites soon after it came. It's like, no, you did not find that many Dratinis in 3 days.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the wonderful, wonderful thing. Here's the amazing, wonderful thing. It's like now I just can't play it. If I wanted to start it up, I can't play it because everything's been taken over and there's no actual gameplay for me. So people who have played it are bored. The people who want to play it will never get anywhere. It's done. And so is this
Anyway.
podcast. Good night, everybody!
Ending on a depressing note there. Good job.
I'll end it on a better note. Overcooked's really good. So is Azuzurul. I don't know what
Abzu.
what's
Abzu. Just Abzu.
Abzu. That's the monkey from Aladdin. Wait, no, hang on. No, that's the one who runs the corner shop in Simpsons. Or is that Mo?
Please stop.
I'm very confused right now. Goodbye, everybody!
Good night from all of us, the
was
heroes of Canton, the men we call Jane.
Which one's Jane?
We all are. We're all
That's
Jane
Jane.
now.
I've seen his new
Hashtag
haircut.
we are.
No, I'm
Hashtag
definitely
we are
Jane.
all Jane. What? Claire hasn't made me a cake. Hang on, just a second. I need to just to sort this out.
He's gonna go.
Claire,
Sort out your woman, John!
Claire, can I have a cake, please?
Right now?
Yes.
No.
We just made down a cake.
But I'm making these 3 costumes.
You are the worst person.